For me to live, I gotta kill the part of me that saw, and I needed you more. I hope you know we had everything.
I will make the gods remember this day!
And left these pieces. I want you
All outsiders do not belong in my jungle!
and I want you to lose like I lose when I play. What could
Looks
have
like
been?
I'm on a hot streak.
What could have been?
This is what you asked for. Heavy as the crown. Fire in the sunrise. Ashes raining down. Try to hold it in, but it keeps bleeding out. This is what you asked for. Heavy as love. Heavy as the crown. Heavy as the
Hearts. And worst of all, for me to live, I gotta kill the part of me that saw, and I needed you more. I hope you know we had everything.
I will make the gods remember this day!
And left these pieces. I want you
All outsiders do not belong in my jungle!
and I want you to lose like I lose when I play. What could
Looks
have
like
been?
I'm on a hot streak.
What could have been?
This is what you asked for. Heavy as the crown. Fire in the sunrise. Ashes raining down. Try to hold it in, but it keeps bleeding out. This is what you asked for. Heavy as love. Heavy as the crown. Heavy as the
And hello, welcome to the Aphrodite League. We have our finals today, and I'm joined by Teddy.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Um, we will see our finalists playing it out today. We have some fairly interesting matches, some fairly interesting games. Also on a new rotation. I mean, the new rotation was already there last week, but it is still a very new season. There are new decks coming up, and I'm excited what we are going to see today. Yes, I will show you the schedule for today. So we have, oh, I will fix that. So we have, so today we are watching um, 4 to 5 games. We are starting with our semifinals with Luna versus Kaizen, and then will be going further until we have a finalist today for this upcoming season. Indeed. Players are playing for prizes today. It's everyone who's playing today will get a prize from the prize pool. It's about getting first to fourth. So we have those prizes for our winners today. Yes. Before we are starting, I wanted to ask you, Teddy, what your thoughts are on this new rotation we are currently having. I think it's a pretty interesting one, I would say. Maybe a bit
Yeah.
polarizing.
So there has been like quite a bit of development in the meta recently, I think. I mean, one of the biggest part of the meta right now is the Refner decks. They seem really strong with Omhawk Dog and then later on Refner. The most popular version, which we will see a lot of today, is like the Zoe Yumi one, with a lot of lifesteal.
Yes.
I think it's pretty interesting, right? Because we still see like a little bit of the old decks, but yeah, which is mostly like Jenna Neela, which even Jenna Neela has fallen a little bit out of popularity. So I feel like maybe the power level is a little bit higher than last rotation as well, because like the strongest decks from last meta aren't like that popular right now. So I don't know, it's pretty interesting.
I personally have struggled a bit with this current meta, especially with the state of Ionia and control right now. It's a bit iffy. Um, for me personally, but I think overall you're right. It's a fairly strong rotation, and we will see where it develops. On the topic of rotation, I would like to go over the decks our players brought today. Um, so I would start at our first match is gonna be between Kaizen and Luna. So I would start with Kaizen's decks. And we are starting off with a Poro King list. That's probably something you would categorize under decks we have seen before in some kind of way. What can you tell me about this list?
Alright, I don't see your screen, but I have the list open as well. Um, so this list is a Shadow Isles Poro King, yeah?
Yes.
Which is pretty interesting. We've seen Poro King played in different regions. So yeah, the Shreema one is mostly there to deny and like draw Poro King with the spell, right? But this one instead has more removal. We have vengeances and even a ruination, which can come in pretty big, with a little bit of draw added in as well with glimpse. So I'm interested to see it. I haven't really seen the Shadow Eyes one, but it makes sense to have some removal in the deck.
Oh, yeah. I think Ruination is fairly interesting because one thing Poros can do is develop a board very fast with those one-cost units. So especially in the later stages of the game, we can Ruination and then in the same turn develop like 3 to 4 one-cost Poros.
Yeah, especially because the meta right now is very mid-rangey, very unit-based. So Ruination can maybe wipe, let's say, a gigantic Revner board or something, and then maybe like swing the game that way. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
So Ruination is probably a meta call. I find it pretty interesting. We are playing 3 Aurora Borealis. I have seen lists that run only 1 or don't even run that card at all. But it's probably reasonable in this list
Yeah, I
since
mean
we are in
three
Shadow Isles.
three is a lot, but usually we see like one or two, but I mean, we are just a little bit more value based. So, I mean, if we lose some tempo by playing Aurora Borealis, maybe we can come back with a Ruination as well, right? So that like plays together a bit. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I guess we can take a look at the second deck. This one is the Nora Sejuani.
Yeah,
So we are looking at a portal pilot, something we have seen in a similar fashion before this rotation with like Nora Braum lists. This
yeah,
Shadow, this Bandit City Freljord region combination, but this one is a bit different, a lot more unit based, running a, a fair amount of units and
yeah.
a
It's
pretty
interesting
good
that we're
top
not
edge here.
even. It's interesting that we're not even running 6 champions. I would imagine that Brom is pretty good usually. But I'm not sure why he's not in here. Um, Maybe it was just hard to fit him, I guess, because yeah, we're running way more porters than usual, I think, because I don't think 3T makers are standard. Like usually we don't see like every single porter maker in the deck. But we run all Portapaloozas, all Scholars, all Tea Makers, all Junk Constructs, so probably we just don't have space for like more champions.
Yes, so Braum is cluttering. Also, the board space is gonna be very limited.
Yeah.
Yes. Um, we are pretty much all in on those white boards. We are running Spirits Unleashed and also Eclectic Collection to profit from that.
Yeah.
So we will see if this can compete with our board-based decks right now. And that's probably why we are not running Braum. We have our third deck.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We have
Yeah, we
Zoe Yumi
want Brom in this
Braum.
deck, yeah.
And
Yeah.
but here also only as a one-off. Um,
Hmm.
this is something you have already talked about, like the Zoe Yumi Braum being a new contender in this meta. Um, have you had experience playing against this deck?
Yeah. So this deck, I mean, it's pretty popular right now. The idea basically is you buff up your board a bit and then like have Revna ideally on curve into a bunch of big lifesteal units to like recover the HP that you probably lost in the earlier game because it's a little bit slow. Yeah, it's a pretty strong deck. Just because yeah, you will like have a very good late game, and you have pretty good spells to complement that as well with like freezes, silences. You have even Celestial Wonder as a stun, Sunburst as removal. So yeah, It has a lot of tools, so yeah, I don't know. It's just a pretty solid deck overall, I would say.
Yes. So since we are done with looking at Kaizen stacks, I will go to Luna stacks real quick. We have something I haven't seen a lot this meta. It's like Niederlehr Sivir. Luna is pretty known for Niederlehr decks in general,
Uh,
but this
it's neither Kaiser, no?
oh no, not Sivir, Kaiser.
Yeah,
Sivir was the
yeah,
other Shurima the Master Champ basically.
yeah,
Um, no, it's actually Kaiser. You are right, and we are looking at something we have seen similarly with like the Master Kaiser piles getting some decent keywords through Broadwing, Jarrow, Lightfeather, and Bright Steel Protector, like the whole keyword units from Demacia. Also access to those premium Demacia combat tricks.
yeah. Usually when we see Kaiser lists at the moment, it's Sivir Kaiser instead of Nidalee Kaiser. Um, just because like Sivir also has the spell shield keyword, right? So you get like a 2-in-1 deal. But I mean, Levitt Nidalee also has Overwhelm, for example. So yeah, maybe this is trying to finish the game a little bit more aggressively and earlier than the Sivir version. I haven't really seen it paired with Kaiser, but I'm sure Luna has some plan with that. I'm not sure how Nidalee exactly plays into this, but I mean we are summoning a lot of units anyway, so Nidalee should level pretty naturally. So yeah.
Yeah. So the second one is Pantheon Shivana. We are looking at something also fairly similar to what I've seen on ladder sometimes, like Pantheon Shivana. But also very interesting for me are those Draconic bands, the 4 mana equipment that
Yeah.
makes one ally a dragon. I have not seen this card a lot in the history of Legends of Runeterra. It's one of those stat sticks that's nearly not good enough to see play most of the time. But Luna
Uh,
opted into this card here.
yeah. So interestingly, yeah, we are playing a lot of like non-dragon followers. This deck is playing like like almost no dragons naturally, which is I find very interesting. Like usually when we see this deck, we at least have like the screeching dragon, yeah, and maybe even bigger dragons if we wanted to. But here, like almost every unit is non-dragon except for White Flame. And then we make them into dragons with draconic bands, I guess. But yeah, I'm a little bit afraid that if the weapon gets removed by explorers, that all of our dragon synergy kind of doesn't work. So I'm a little bit critical of this list, just because we don't run enough like actual dragons. But we'll see.
We
Um,
we will definitely see. I can definitely see your point with those Draconic bands being removed, and Explorers are a pretty common card in this current meta, and trading 4 mana equipment for the Explorer spell already feels pretty bad, even without considering that you're losing your only dragon potentially in the process. Um, and for our third deck, we have Fiora Shen. I would say that's pretty much an old classic. We have seen some different iterations of this deck. Some people are running the 6-cost landmark, the heart of the tree, I think.
yeah,
And this one isn't. We are looking also at a list running 3 Spirit's Refuge, which is kind of in line with Luna's uh, other decks she brought today, with being fairly tagged into aggro stuff. And yeah, but I don't. Also, 2 tasty Faithwalk, so we have really a lot of lifesteal in this list and good potential to beat aggro.
Yeah, maybe Luna was expecting a lot of aggro, which makes sense then why the dragon deck earlier was also like so low curved. Mm, yeah, also yeah, this is same problem, right? Fiora Shen usually needs a little bit more top end to stay relevant in the later mid game to like actually late game basically. Um, but yeah, this is trying to play in the early game with just a bunch of small units, and sometimes maybe you win with Fiora with all the barriers. Yeah, but you're kind of all in pretty quickly without any card draw. So like usually we run um, the root bound is it called? The landmark that draws cards.
Rootbound path,
At
yes,
the
right.
yeah, exactly. Like something like that is usually included in Iona decks at the moment, but instead we just run like little bit more small units and a little bit more spells than usual. Yeah, noteworthy is also the one judgment that can maybe just win games if opponent chooses not to respect it.
But
Yeah,
I expect it to be very hard to get through, especially if the players will be playing decent today. I expect them to do so.
yeah,
And we are the big mid-range decks. Judgment would be good against are running in Freljord and Targon, so we have access to Hush or maybe Freezes. So
yeah,
this Judgment can be countered by really well.
yeah. I mean, I think usually this one of judgments like serves the purpose of making opponents like maybe play around it when you don't even have it. That's like a big upside in these open deck lists. Um, when they could, like for example, even just go in for lethal swing, but they're afraid of your one unit judgmenting them, so maybe they choose to play around it, and you get like a comeback that way. It's the same as with like one of Ruinations, right? That you force opponents to open attack. Like, these kind of decks are kind of nice in the open deck list format, so yeah, I can definitely see it.
Okay. Um, so since we are done with decks, I wanted to ask you about the buns, what we are expecting here today. Um,
Yeah,
we have that lineup with Poro King, Nora Sejuani, and the Zoe Yumi Braum
yeah.
against Luna's lineup.
I would expect the Zoe Revenant deck to be banned because yeah, Luna's lineup is very mid-rangey without like good tools to deal with a bunch of gigantic units. And also like Luna's decks don't close out games really fast. So I think it will struggle a lot against the Revenant deck. But yeah, I mean, Horo King can always just beat itself by not drawing the king, so
Especially
I think we
since we are
leave it
not
open.
in Shurima
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the draw spell. So you would say we are banning the Luna bans the Zoya deck?
yeah. That is what I'm expecting.
And
Um,
what is our expectation for Kaizen's ban?
mm, Kaizen shoes, I would be maybe even a little bit scared of the Fiora because we are like playing very swarmy decks, which Fiora can sometimes just solo. Like if we expect Revner to be banned, then it's like Poros before they get a bunch of snacks, Fiora can kind of farm them, and with barriers later on anyway. And I mean the Nora deck is obviously really swarmy, so Yeah, I think I'm most scared of the Fiora deck basically, so I would probably ban that as Kaizen.
So you would expect Fiora Shen being banned. I
Yeah.
would agree that sounds reasonable. We will see what the players have banned. The players decided for like two completely different decks this time. I mean, the decks are definitely kind of similar to each other. That's kind of the thing about good deck building, that you bring, not good deck building, good lineup building, that you bring three similar decks, which makes it harder to make a good ban. But here we have the Nora Sedraani and Sivir Niederleband.
Okay, interesting. I mean, it's Nidalee Kaiser, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
again.
yeah. So, yeah, okay, I mean, that makes sense as well. I mean, Nidalee Kaiser is probably, like, in a vacuum, like, the strongest deck out of those three. Like, it has the most, like, late game, so I see that ban. Yeah. Nora
Yes.
Setch ban is interesting.
Um, we could be.
Maybe, yeah, maybe we can't get through Swarm with this lineup very easily. Like it's possible, like because we don't have like Overwhelm that much, right? So it's kind of hard to actually push any damage if the board is always full.
I also think we might be scared of Minimorph in this lineup, since this
Okay,
runs
yeah.
triple Minimorph, I think, and Fiora, as you already said, is a potential win condition for.
Actually, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I haven't considered that this Pro King also has Vengeance, right? And this Nora has like 3 Minimorphs, so maybe we are a little bit less afraid of Fiora than
Yes.
I initially thought. Yeah.
So let's see. The players. The players are starting anytime soon, I think. We will see. Um, okay, so what are your predictions for those games? Are you expecting one player to be better off here, seeing the lineups and the bans?
Yeah. I think lineup-wise, Kaizen is pretty favored, I would say. Um, just because, yeah, I mean, I think the Zoe deck will have a pretty easy time going big, and Hurricane is also like big and swarmy kind of later on, so um, yeah, I feel like Kaizen might just outscale the late game because Luna's decks are like smaller anti-aggro decks that don't scale that well into the late game, but also don't close out the game super fast. So yeah.
Okay, so we are going into the mulligan. The games are starting right now.
Um,
Okay. So we can already see the hand from Luna here with 3 combat tricks and a Shen. Also the hand from Kaizen keeping Spirits Unleashed. This
Sorry,
Luna hand is 3
I don't
mulligan.
see your screen
Oh,
somehow. I'm not sure
I
why.
can like do it again. It's, wait.
Yeah, I see my own screen.
That does it work?
It's probably a problem on my end. Right, okay. How do I swap between which screen I'm seeing? I'm like seeing my own screen instead of yours.
Are you watching the Discord stream?
Oh, the Discord stream. Okay. Oh, sorry. I thought I'm
Okay,
watching
okay.
OBS.
So
Yeah, that makes
here we
much
have
more
some
sense. Yeah.
technical difficulties,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
but
Sorry.
I am one with the land.
no,
Okay. Yeah.
no
We're
problem.
good. Yeah. Okay. So we saw this Zoe on 1, which is pretty strong. Obviously, like this is your best opener you can have. And yeah, Luna has 2 1-drops as well, though. Yeah,
Also very
interesting.
interesting not developing the Yumi or another elusive, just open attacking with that Zoe.
Mhm.
That's... I'm
Yeah, what are
wondering
we
what
playing around?
we are playing around here.
Um, Badger Bear on
Oh
3.
yes, true, true. That's,
Yeah.
I forgot about that card.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So yeah, interesting that we didn't go for Yumi. I mean, I guess we tried to hit a chime onto the Yumi first. That's why we didn't go for it, but yeah. We actually did hit the chime, yeah? Okay. I mean, I think with the Revner top deck we would have rather hit it on Revner, but yeah.
But
I
you
always say
take what you
we
get.
because um
But we do have a very promising hand on the side of Kaizen here right now. We do have the Spirits Unleashed into Revna, which will give this board a lot of stats.
Yep.
And Luna is basically already on the clock here, since those units from Kaizen will start outdrawing the Fiora Shen units really fast. So we basically need to win with damage very soon, or just play for the Fiora Wincon.
Yeah, I think it's very hard to play for the Fiora Wincon usually against like these decks that will just have very big units, right? So I think Luna should probably focus on pushing damage.
Indeed, that's what I would be expecting as well. But
this
with
life
this
unit
hand,
make it harder, yeah.
with this hand, and also with that Fangs coming down, it will be very hard. But we do have that Shen coming down, we do have like 2 Glade... How are they called? Glade Keepers, I think? The 1-drop. Oh, one is already disabled via the silence. But let's see. I mean, until now, if we are looking at those hands, the Fiora Wincon still seems at least possible.
Yeah,
also, the
especially
damage
with
Wincon
the damp barriers, yeah.
can be possible since we will be able to delay this lifesteal via barrier. Because lifesteal doesn't trigger as far as I know if you're striking against a barrier target. So this can help us out as well, potentially.
This is a very crucial turn for Luna, or for like the game in general, because if we don't put out enough pressure, and a Revner comes down for free, it's gonna be a little bit hard. So I would probably like to see a development here, because yeah, this Bright Steel Protector development usually should be stronger than like a Revner development. And it's very scary to just Revner into this, right? Because you don't even know what else might be coming. So yeah, this delays Revner for a turn at least.
We are also seeing the hand, and if Revner would come down, we would be able to use our strike spells proactively to push some serious damage here.
Yeah.
So Kaizen decides for the correct line and decides against developing, or probably the correct line, decides against developing Revner this turn.
Yeah, interestingly, the stun is actually available this turn with the Moonsilver, but yeah, Kaizen chooses not to use it. Saving it for the next attack, basically. Instead, we're probably gonna see the lifesteal unit, yeah. And Yumi ending up not being played at all is a bit, like it hurts a bit for Kaizen, because, especially because we hit a chime on it, but yeah.
Oh, and now
Wait, oh,
Luna
Fiora actually just...
actually has a Fiora win condition here. And we can we
wins,
counter
yeah,
that
because
with the
we have
Pale?
Pale Cascade with the Moonsilver, yeah,
With
this is
Moonsilver?
exactly enough.
Oh, this is...
Yeah. That was a nice bait.
Oh, that was exactly the Pale Cascade. That's basically
Yep.
the only card saving Kaizen here. And
Yep.
Luna already gave the GG, but Luna is still in this game. Those strike spells are kinda bad for her. But we see this concussive form, which could be really decent next turn.
Yep.
We can try to remove this Ravna this turn. But the problem is if we remove Ravna this turn, we don't have a target to concussive form on with the next attack.
I would probably still like to see this single combat.
Just in case we find another unit, probably.
We kind of, yeah, I kind of want to open attack even.
Oh, just...
Because, I mean, we are probably, like, if we open stun next round, there might be a big lifesteal unit coming down, right? Like, obviously, with Cast Division, we see that it was just a youngling being drawn.
But we also have the Blunder, which can remove lifesteal units.
Yeah, okay, I mean, that is possible, yeah. But I like this single combat, though.
Oh, I like it as well, especially with that Fiora top deck, we are able to develop further and stun afterwards with the concussive form.
That looks pretty good. Yeah, also like taking damage on Shen doesn't actually matter that much, right? Because it's like there's no damage based removal really, so like your Shen being on 2 or 5 doesn't matter. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, the Youngling comes down, we probably just stun.
We are seeing this stun. We will be able to stun 2 units and heal for 2, but I don't. Let's see.
Yeah, I think the stun should be easily enough to survive for Kaizen this turn.
We have 6,
okay,
7...
Yeah, not easily. Okay, we didn't heal actually, so the form up actually kills through the stun. There is not mana available for a Hush alongside it, so this is probably actually
I think we are one of lethal here, because the one Gladekeeper is silenced.
Yeah, but there's a form up in the hand, so...
Yes, but we have Fiora and the 9 attack unit.
Okay, yeah, okay.
It's like one of lethal.
Miscalculated, yeah. Okay.
But still a bunch
I thought Shen would already level, but yeah.
Yes.
He didn't. He's one, yeah, it's one off Shen level up.
So we are one Shen level up away from lethaling here, and this might probably be the game here. Kaizen does not have any units to develop, which is a big problem for him.
Yeah, I think Yumi probably has to come down this turn just as a blocker.
Indeed. But if Yumi comes down, I think she's able to be a single combated. I'm not...
Probably, yeah.
Yes, we have form up to
Investing
counter
the
some
form
buff
up,
spells.
Yeah, probably has to be single combat here.
I mean, I'm pretty excited about this game because it's actually pretty close.
Yeah.
Here we don't always have those close games in Legends of Runeterra. Some matchups are pretty one-sided, but this one the Führer Shen is from Luna is here definitely in the driving seat.
Yeah.
But that it's very close, because if we mess up only a little bit, we are out of value and we can't finish the game anymore.
Yep. So, oh, this
this
Zoe
is-
draw is
This
actually
is
so
actually
big.
the best top deck we could have gotten.
It, the open attack still presents lethal though. Actually no, the youngling heals by 1, so Luna's 1 off again
So we want to
on
find
the open.
the let's see what we want to find a buff spell. Form up probably. Our second form up would do the trick
Yeah,
here.
or like another Fiora for repose. Student probably is not gonna do it here. Yeah, I mean, Luna's kind of forced into developing.
Because she
Because,
doesn't present
yeah.
lethal here, so we have to gamble on Kaizen not having basically anything here.
Yeah, which is like kind of impossible, but I mean, these cards are surely gonna do something, right? But yeah, now, yeah, Luna. I mean, it was very unfortunate, right? Luna was like 1 off last turn and also 1 off this turn.
Yes.
Um,
Kaizen
yeah.
definitely got fairly lucky here with, I mean, it's always playing around your luck and also always skill involved, but getting this Zoe top deck here was pretty insane. Also getting the Moonsilver, where Luna didn't play around Moonsilver, into Pale Cascade.
Yeah.
Which probably isn't something I would have played around either.
Yeah, and then now the second Raptor coming in. Like, now we see what I talked about earlier, right? That Luna's deck just gets completely outscaled in the late game. Look at this dog. What are you supposed to do about that?
Even if we have like something like riposte, this Fiora's never gonna level and we are not getting through this board anytime soon.
Yeah.
And Luna sees this, we are conceding.
Learn, change, re-engage.
And we will get to see another game. So the game you predicted to be banned already won its game. So maybe you were right and it should have been banned, but maybe Kaizen's decks are all pretty decent. Let's see. It was definitely close.
I mean, Kaizen. Like, I usually don't like keeping a bunch of random poros there. He tosses all poros because we are searching for the king, right? Like, you will have random poros anyway. All your deck is like random poros, so.
Yes, and we kept the Vengeance for Pantheon in the opener.
Which makes sense. Also, we see Soul Harvest on Dragon Chow. Yeah. The interesting part about Dragon Chow in this deck is that you probably like you're trying to double dip on it by striking with this with this unit exactly, with the White Flame, and then the Dragon Chow survives and you still draw a card. Downside is that the Dragon Flame doesn't actually proc its Fury on the Dragon Chow, so yeah, it's not growing.
But we will probably take this for another one draw most of the time. Which unfortunately will get denied here. We could single combat here to potentially give us another draw, but one thing you already mentioned about this deck is that we are very low on dragons. So, and we actually need to play an actual dragon, and we cannot get the draw from the Chow by equipping our dragon equipment.
Yeah.
But Luna
So
still
we drew
decides.
both Pantheons, like Luna drew both Pantheons, which like the deck only runs two. So single combating makes sense because we want to target to actively play for our hand, right?
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, I think this deck mostly levels Pantheon through these single combats, right? Oh, okay. Also, this challenger thing is nice.
And this challenger thing is probably one of the better top decks we could have gotten here.
Yeah.
Also, we are deciding not to develop Pantheon and are going for the more mana inefficient play of developing the Goat. Since we probably definitely want to use the challenger here.
Yeah, we want to use the challenger. Also, Goat generates a gem, right? So that's also a way we can play for this Pantheon level up. So
Oh
it
yes,
makes sense.
this is actually really important. Otherwise, we might be forced to do something like hushing our own unit, what we definitely don't want to do.
Yeah.
And this Goat is not getting 2 strikes in it, it seems like, but at least we are
Yeah.
kinda forcing the Boros. I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. We get the gem, and that's what we wanted out of the Goat. Pulling the Poro instead.
Ooh, does that
I
make a
mean,
difference?
it doesn't really make a difference. This forces like this trade, which is gonna happen anyway, right? Because like the Poro could theoretically be bigger. Like the Poro is realistically bigger than a 2/3 already because Aurora
Oh yes.
Borealis has
So
been played, so it's like a
Kaisen
3/3.
could have had the decision to keep this Poro instead of
Yeah.
trading it into the Goat.
Hmm.
Which he probably
That's-
wouldn't have done, but
Yeah. Taking options away from
taking
your opponent
options
is
is
always
always a
better.
good
Yeah.
thing, yes. Always getting pretty tilted if players are not challenging if they have the challenger keyword.
Yeah, that
It
does make
always
sense.
makes me mad.
There are very rare cases where it makes sense because you want
Yeah,
to
yes,
like
there's
you
like
open
some
a check
action
for
economy
lethal.
thing here as well,
Yeah, like
right?
yeah. If you only can present lethal by swinging without a challenger and then forcing opponents to commit blocks before like using any spells, that can be good. But usually you should just challenge if you have challenger. So how does the slow speed spell work again for Luna? I'm not very familiar with that card.
I have to look at it as well. It's like an ally with Furious strikes the 2 weakest enemies, one after another.
Oh, that could be pretty good against this Pro deck, huh?
It's also presenting a target for the Pantheon level up.
Yep.
Oh, we are protecting this Dragon Shower until the bitter end. But
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, it's just for level up.
Just for Pantheon level up, we do have those
Yeah.
strike spells. But just the idea of this Dragon Shower being protected at all costs is kind of funny to me.
Yeah, it is kind of funny. So now Pantheon's 3 out of 5. I don't really mind playing him already. Although, like maybe we could. It's also interesting
Luna
to
can be
strike.
kinda scared of the Soul Harvest, I think. Or do... Yes, we are running 2 Soul Harvest on Kaisen's side, and Luna
Yeah.
doesn't have any interaction for that.
There already. Yeah, we've already seen one Soul Harvest. On the Dragon Chow in the early game. So it's not
Yes.
that likely, but yeah, I can see it. Yeah, the strike going into the spell shield. I think it's random, right? Which one it goes
I
on.
think the strike will actually kill the Pirate Poro twice.
Oh, is that how it works?
Because
Yeah, okay, it's
not
one after
striking
another, so
at the
it's
same time.
huh. It's weird. Like it shouldn't it just be random which Poros even get struck?
I think it's actually random, but you can see through the eye which
Yeah, you can see it
Poro
on
is
the eye.
getting
Yeah,
struck.
that's what Luna was looking at by hovering the spell. Yeah, using it while Vengeance is down would kind of be nice, but also it's not that great right now. So
Let's see.
yeah, playing one Pantheon definitely makes sense.
And we are not using Vengeance this turn, which gives us the option to level Pantheon, potentially getting Spell Shield next turn. So
This
I
Pro
think
King will
it's
probably get killed immediately.
kind of
I would
scary.
assume.
I would assume as well. This is like basically the turn where we don't have any interaction from Kaizen left. And there's probably no reason to challenge something else than the Poro King here.
Yeah, just dropping the king into this challenger is a little bit curious.
Maybe we were gambling for the Frosty snacks.
Yeah, it's 1 in 4. I'm not sure if that's worth it. Like, it's also would have like a pass would have been maybe possible, but probably yeah this turn from Kaiser was interesting, right? You could have also like just played Vengeance and then next turn develop the Poro King when like there's not a challenger staring at you.
I would probably have developed played Vengeance just because I would have been scared of Pantheon getting Spell Shield.
Makes sense. So the second hit actually went into the spell shield
Yes,
of
it
the
did.
dragon. Yeah.
Oh, but we
Yeah.
do get rewarded by getting another Poro King.
Yeah. We'll actually choose not to play the second king. I guess this is like a push for maybe lethal with
But we
the
do have the
impact. Yeah, this
Challenger
is
snacks, right? I think those are the Challenger
this
snacks.
is this is the challenger snacks. Yeah. So even if Pantheon Rose lifesteal, it doesn't. But
But we
okay,
do
but
get
without
to
impact.
develop like 2 of the keyword Poros, so if we are lucky,
Yeah.
we can get some decent hits here, and it's definitely the more mana efficient play.
Yeah. I mean, Luna should most likely just pass until Kaizen taps out of Vengeance and then use the next strike spell, right? Okay, we choose to level up the Pantheon immediately. Which is also reasonable. I think we'd rather have our Pantheon be Vengeance as well than this dragon, because
Because we
yeah,
have a second one, and the champ spell
we
is
have the
pretty
second one,
useless here.
yeah, and we also need this well, we actually hit spell shield, so
So this Pantheon is getting threatened by the Challenger potentially. We would have Hush to answer that. Oh no, is it actually getting Challenger? It's like...
okay.
Oh no, now it is. It is
Oh,
dying
it's
to the
getting challenged.
Challenger. If we are not hushing, I think.
Yeah, I don't think Hush is necessary. Like, saving this Pantheon, sure, it would be nice, but also Hush doesn't even save it, right? Isn't Pantheon on 1? Oh, no, Pantheon. Oh, Pantheon actually rolls Fury, which means we could strike, like, use the strike spell on this Pantheon. That is actually pretty relevant. Because, yeah, because this Pantheon has Fury, I think Hushing actually does make sense. Okay, interesting. It's also interesting that the Dragon Strike spell only heals if it's an actual dragon, and Fury doesn't matter.
Oh, indeed, indeed.
Yeah.
Those are like intricate differences between the cards, because we already had the first card that triggered on an Eldai with Fury, and this only
Yeah.
triggers on a dragon. So Riot is not too consistent here.
Yeah. So yeah, this Pantheon actually is pretty good, right?
Although
like,
I
we have Spell
would have
Shield
wished
and
for
Fury.
maybe some I mean, quick attack would have been insane because this Pantheon is kind of an issue attacking here.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, after the strike spell, he like eats 2 units, gets the fated proc, and will be 5 health. And because he has spell shield, yeah, also this guiding touch makes him even tankier. So yeah, this strike is very nice that you can do it on Pantheon. Because otherwise we're always scared of the vengeance, right? But
Yes.
with the spell shield, it's just fine.
And there isn't even a spell combination that can threaten Pantheon. I mean, the only thing would be double vengeance, but we don't have like mana for that. And Pantheon rolling Fury is actually pretty insane here in this game. And those powers are not even big enough to threaten the dragon, and we end up using the vengeance not on Pantheon. I mean, not using it on Pantheon makes sense. This Pantheon is never gonna die to spells.
Yeah.
So we would rather have...
Emperor King coming down. Now there's like the decision if we want to like use the strike spell to trade into the Emperor King because we have a second Pantheon. Because like Emperor King is pretty scary, right?
Poro King is pretty scary indeed.
But we do have like a lifesteal Pantheon, so yeah, probably we don't want to just take it, or we choose to kill the other unit. Which also makes sense, yeah.
But this turn we don't get the strike spell, not the strike spell, not the lifesteal from Pantheon, which is kinda unfortunate, but we probably wouldn't have gotten it anyways. And
Oh, this Shyvana is this Shyvana leveled?
I think Shyvana's, yeah.
Witness my true
Ah, yeah, because yeah, of course we had a gigantic dragon actually.
Indeed,
I only
indeed.
was like, wait, this Pantheon doesn't level Shyvana, but
But this top
yeah.
deck from Kaizen was actually probably one of the best top decks we could have gotten.
Yeah, Poro Stories is absolutely insane. Because Kaizen was running out of units, but not anymore.
And now with the pepper snacks, we will be able to actually force some decent trades here. Otherwise, Luna just dies here. I'm wondering if we will see the Pantheon spell being used proactively. We
Yeah,
might.
I want to see Pale Cascade on Pantheon. Actually, is it on Pantheon or is it on?
I mean, Shyvana grows to 6 HP, which will be enough to block a Poro. But Pantheon also. Pantheon is probably more important here.
Yeah, I mean Pantheon getting lifesteal off is very important. And as long as this Pantheon lives, we have lethal next turn, right? We don't need anything else.
Yes.
So I would still like to see the Pale Cascade just to. Oh, this is a bit weird. Okay, we
get a
find
second
another one.
Oh, but we haven't
did
used
we-
it.
Yeah, it's fine. Like we don't actually need another unit here.
But the funny thing is, if Kaizen doesn't attack with everything here, we could just pass.
Yeah. And if this full swing is happening, I mean, just the Shyvana block is enough, right? We don't actually.
Oh no, the
Have to block
Shyvana
with
block
Pantheon.
is not enough because we would have had pepper snacks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Pale Cascade not being used on Pantheon was a misplay then. If we had to block with Pantheon anyway, we need to like secure this Pantheon being alive, right?
Yes.
If this was the Rainbow Snacks gives an additional +1/+1, right? Wasn't it like that?
No, I think Rainbow
Actually-
Snacks just gives more keywords.
Oh, it's just different keywords, yeah. Okay. I always forget what the snakes do exactly, because I never play pros myself.
Or that doesn't give... I also never play pros ever. I think it gives keywords to champions, or +1/+1 to champions.
Yeah.
It has something to do with champions. Let me check. Oh, the champions everywhere get +1/+1. with the
Okay,
rainbow sticks.
and yep, that's game.
That's scary.
Yeah, what we saw was like pretty interesting. Right? Luna had this one dragon and was able to use all of the dragon synergy with that one big dragon. I was always worried for Luna if Kaiser just vengeances the dragon. Like the spells with a fury, an ally with fury strikes to enemies is just like stranded. It doesn't do anything. And then Pantheon rolled like fury spell shield, so it was easier to use. So yeah, I don't know. That's pretty interesting. I wonder how often like that happens.
Oh. Let's see, but
Now
now we have a fairly hard matchup, I would say, if we are not winning with Fiora. I think we basically need to win with Fiora here.
Yep.
In Fiora versus Poros. I don't think I have played this matchup before. I have played Mono Fiora against Poros, and this is pretty winnable, Mono Fiora against Poros. But
Yeah.
Fiora Shen versus Poros is probably a different story.
Yeah, especially against this version that actually has vengeances, so you actually have to hold deny up and stuff. Also, yeah, I mean there is no Fiora right now, so
This
right
is
on
so
time.
big.
Oh my god.
So we
I
do
would actually have been a
Fiora,
bit afraid of jamming Fiora because of vengeance on curve, but
indeed, but
like
I think Luna just is taking her odds here and
yeah,
saying if I don't develop Fiora here, I'm not winning the game.
it makes sense. Yeah, I just have to get the Fiora sticks going early.
Yes.
Yeah, the Fiora is like not tanky enough at the moment though. Still
In
need to have like
theory,
some
if
barriers
there's
to.
no Poro snacks involved, we have like 2 gentlemen's duels to give us enough.
Yeah.
But that's like wishful thinking.
Hmm.
Also assuming there's no Poro King coming down and stuff. That's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I mean killing one now is
I
pretty
think
fine,
killing
even
them now
against
is
one
fairly
snack.
reasonable. We have a lot of strike spells and those Poros are only getting bigger.
Yep.
We are not scared of Fiora dying this turn, so I would say this is a very reasonable strike spell here.
Yep.
We could potentially see the game being won next turn if Kaizen for some reason chooses to develop another Poro, I think. Which would be pretty funny. But
You
Luna's
forgot to
probably
update
not
the
playing
score, by the way.
into this.
The score's 1-1.
That's my bad.
Oh, that's a very curious pass from Kaizen, honestly. They just float all of the mana. Maybe he's trying to ruinate here. Yeah, and there's deny.
Oh, it's deny. It's coming down, but it forced one deny, so we don't have that anymore for the chance we get vengeance from Kaizen's side. And I still don't think we are winning through damage, although Kaizen is...
I don't know. I mean, we are pushing... I mean, Fiora probably wants to stack this Poro, right? But we are still pushing 9 damage as well. So, I think both win conditions are kind of open to Luna here.
And Kaizen basically has to play into one of them, because he either plays Poro stories and develops a bunch of Poros, giving fodder for Fiora, or he plays something like this Poro King here, which makes him vulnerable to this
it's just barrier into strike, I think, and I don't think there's anything in Kaizen's deck that stops that.
No, I don't think so. Our interaction is all not enough for this player.
Yeah. I mean,
So
there can't
Luna
be
is
Poro
actually
snakes as well.
found lethal here.
Yeah. Yeah, the Fiora right on 4 was pretty crazy. And yeah, against no vengeance basically. So
Indeed. But I do think Kaizen can't complain with his first game with that
Yeah.
Zoe Braum.
Yeah, this is why I kind of wanted to ban the Fiora deck, right? Because like this can just happen against Horror King, and also, yeah, I don't
Indeed,
know.
this
Yeah.
this can happen. We do run 2 Vengeances, but we haven't drawn one, and we would have also been able to deny one possibly. So
Yeah.
this just wasn't it for Kaizen today. Yes, so that was our first match. We will go into a short break and we will see you later. Right. Bye. Hello again. We are back in our Aphrodite finals tournament, and we have seen a fairly interesting game, or not one fairly interesting game. I think all those three games we have seen between Luna and Kaizen were fairly interesting. Um, Luna was kind of the favorite, coming in from the top side of the upper side of the bracket. And what was your take on those games, Teddy? Did you enjoy watching?
Yeah, I think we saw some pretty clean gameplay. Like, it didn't spot any major misplays, which is, to be honest, rare nowadays. um, and yeah, I'm surprised that Luna actually got like the early game aggressions through with these decks, which went contrary to my predictions. But yeah, well played.
Indeed. I also expected Kaizen to be favored here, but uh, we both probably underestimated this Fiora pick a bit.
Hmm.
Fiora Shen, I expected it to struggle a lot into those bot-based mid-range decks, but we were able to win through the Fiora level up once and once. Oh no, we lost once actually, but pretty close actually, both. So let's see what we will see. We might get to see this Fiora deck again, if it's not getting banned, because our next matchup will be Vendorti versus Luna, and I will put up some data from our previous previous seasons. So those are the championship points the players collected in the previous APH seasons. So we are looking at the top contenders in this format playing against each other. Vendorti with 165 points and Luna with 130 points in this format. So those are definitely two contenders for the finals today, I would say.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
this is definitely going to be interesting. Um, I would start with looking at the decks. We have already seen Luna's decks, so let's take a look at Vendorti's list. We are starting
Yeah.
off with something you have seen on ladder today. Not today. You have probably seen on ladder recently. Um, have you played against this list a lot?
Um, a little bit less than I would expect. Because yeah, Jenna Nila was very good last season and it got even stronger this season, right? With the addition of Urchin and stress testing. Um, so this list only runs one Rex and runs a suit up instead of the second Rex. But otherwise, very standard list. Yeah, I mean, I think we all know what Jen and Neela does, right? Draw a bunch of
Kind of.
cards and smoke everyone.
Something very interesting. I've actually seen you play the Nila Jinx, and
Hmm.
I've tried this as well. It felt really strong. Would you say Nila Jinx is a better version if you're looking to play Nila in a deck right now?
I mean, I personally love playing the Neela Jinx list because you can play very, very aggressively in the first 3 turns and don't really worry about the refill that much. And just go all in with all of your resources. Whereas Nina Jenna has to hold back a bit. You can't just like Mayam for spell mana on turn 3, for example, and not have anything left. But yeah, I mean, this version has a little bit more staying power. Like a Jinx deck struggles if your Jinx just gets removed, right? And then you can run out of cards. Um, Whereas this deck will play for board a lot more and has way less burn. Like we don't even run Divine Weapons anymore.
Indeed.
So it's even though the core package is the same, I would say they just play pretty differently. You take it much slower with Jin and Nina.
Indeed. Let's see what we are seeing today of this deck. We will go to Vendorti's second list. That's something we have seen today, I would say. Um,
Yep.
I'm trying to spot differences. I don't think
I think it's mostly the same, yeah.
I think
I'm,
it's mostly the same list. I don't see anything that uh nothing
yeah,
too
I mean, yeah,
special.
all of these cards are pretty standard, I would say. Um, there are a lot of one-offs being run. That gives you a little bit of flexibility in your hand, and also is good for the Zoe level up.
And also one
Um,
off's very important for your opponent to play around different stuff. More room
yeah,
to misplay. Yes. But I think there's not too much to talk about here.
yeah,
Uh,
it's Revna, it's Lifesteal, we've seen it before.
we, we, we have seen it before. That this last one, when Doty bringing there's always the people during preparation that say just bring good decks, and when Doty is a believer in this religion, I think.
Yeah,
So we are bringing 3 meta decks, 3 staples. This is one I'm fairly enjoying. The Any Gwen,
yeah.
one of the not too common control decks right now. But I mean, Any Gwen is common, but control decks in general not too much.
I think Never Walk Alone played this deck a lot on ladder. It has been performing really well with it. Overall, this deck has like insane stats. I think it's like almost 60% win rate, although, I mean, nowadays win rate can be a bit skewed on ladder. But yeah, the deck is pretty strong, right? You have like nice pressure with Annie and Gwen on your offensive turns, and obviously a bunch of defensive tools. So you can get to your win condition of like Tybok, Farron, Harrowing. Yeah, overall pretty solid deck.
Indeed. I'm fairly enjoying this list. It it tends to run out of value pretty fast if you are not careful, because we are not running any value engines in this list. We do it run triple glimpse, which will
Yeah,
most of the time be used against removal on any or Gwen. So this gives us some very necessary refill, but overall
yeah.
we can definitely run out of cards here. One thing I want to point out kind of is the one of Harrowing. I don't think that's something I've seen before on this list. But
I think the yeah, I've seen the Herring before. Like I think Never Walk Alone always played the two Farron, one Herring. This is like a pretty greedy version, right? Like usually it's very often it's only two Farrons, no Herring, or one Farron, one Herring. There's like basically one additional late game card. Um, I think we cut like usually it's three Scorch Earth probably, but yeah, maybe we're not that worried about landmarks at the moment.
indeed, I don't think there are too many scary landmarks right now. Let's see. So, since we have seen Vendorti's lists already, I would go straight, not Vendorti's, we have seen Luna's lists already, and I will go straight to the buns. What are your expectations in this matchup?
I mean, Luna left the Ravna deck open last time. Um, I wonder if she's gonna do that again. Um, I don't. Vendorti's decks are all like, I mean, they are all very strong, right? He's just running three meta decks. Um, I think probably the Enigven is the most scary one, I would imagine. Like either Enigven or the Revner deck. Because Jenna Neela, um this like has to play for board, right? As we said, like okay, they have a lot of cards, but it has to play for board, and we have like good tools to deal with a deck that has to like actually play for the board for the entire game. So I
Yes.
think that is the deck least likely to get banned. But yeah, I think any Gwen ban makes a lot of sense.
Yes, I would definitely be scared of any Gwen, but I think we definitely do have some options to play into that. But we will see. It's a reasonable take, I guess. And what's your thought on Vendorti's ban?
Vendorti's ban. Pretty interesting. I personally would ban the Kaiser deck here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like it has the most value, right? I think yeah, Verdorti's decks should not die that easily. Fiora is always scary against like for the Jenna deck as well. Like that would be maybe a consideration. But because it's not all in Fiora, usually you can probably deal with her with like a Howling Gale or something. Um, so yeah, probably the Kaiser ban.
Okay.
And try to outvalue. Yeah.
So I'm gonna reveal it. We have some different bans here, but
Okay, I'm always wrong, I guess.
but but as you said, it's pretty close on those bans, and you were right. The Jananila wasn't banned, and I think that's a sign of the players bringing good lineups. If the decision what decks are to be banned is a bit harder.
And to be fair, I'm not very familiar with the matchup tables at the moment, so I'm sure like these players are actually better prepared. Um, I basically only played ladder and just have feeling and no stats, so I
I,
guess I'm just wrong.
I mean, just feeling can be the right approach, to be honest, because matchup tables, especially with the sample sizes we have today, can be very misleading.
I'm. It's a bit curious that this Pantheon Shyvana deck is getting banned because I feel like if you just remove the few dragons that this deck has, which Verdorti's list can do pretty well, I think. Um, yeah, a lot of cards will be stranded, but I mean,
Okay.
okay.
We will get into the
Like this.
game.
Yep.
Really quick. Because the players have already started.
Oh, I have to go to spectate as well.
And we are seeing a Annie on 1 versus Broadwing on 2.
Yep.
Which is probably decent for both players. Annie on 1 is always good, leveling Annie, getting the procs for your Ravenbloom landmark. And the Broadwing is kinda the perfect answer. We get a challenger for free. To
Why am I
deal
game
with
lagging
that
behind
Annie.
so much?
What did you say?
My I feel like my spectating is like 5 seconds behind yours somehow. Maybe because I joined late or something.
Uh, let's see. Is it the Discord stream? I can.
I don't know. I think it's no. I think it's fine now.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was just because I joined the game late. I
Okay,
think.
okay.
Now it's fine. Yeah. Yeah, we see the challenger on Annie, which is always nice. And there is no tool to disrupt that at the moment.
Indeed. Also, like this, those free health thresholds are fairly annoying for the any Gwen lists, I think, because
Yeah.
you are running like 1 or 2 damage removal stuff, and on top of that you are running like kill spells. Like, I mean, Flock isn't technically a kill spell, but it basically is.
Mhm.
But like Flock, Scorched Earth, and Disintegrate. So you would rather have like units on a lower or higher threshold. So I think Luna is a good, is well prepared in form in terms of like the health thresholds. When Dorothy has to hit here.
Man of mystery.
Nothing to fear.
Interesting here. Luna has 4 keywords now. This is interesting. Yeah, that's why we went for the 1-drop instead of one of the other units.
Indeed.
Killing the Gwen. We'll
And
probably
this-
see another glimpse.
This also prevents the Thread the Needle as well.
Yeah.
So we just see another glimpse, more refill. And now, when Dorothy has more cards in hand, but a lot less cards on board. So Luna is probably able to put a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Onto
The Kaiser is
Dorothy.
not leveled here, so it's pretty interesting how this turn will play out. There is like some reason to open attack, but yeah, unlikely. I like the development more as well. The Nidalee is
It's 2 out of 4.
is 2 out of 4. Yeah, so she's not leveling this turn. I mean, okay, but she's done anyway, so yeah. Yep. Pretty good attack. Pushing 8. When Dorothy's hand is pretty awkward. There's not okay. I mean, the Swifties is pretty good. I was about to say like there are no ping effects. And
But we have gotten that one necessary ping. Oh, this is fairly interesting. Both attacks threaten a Disintegrate. We could like gamble into one of them not having Disintegrate, but I'm pretty sure like taking damage is not that much of an issue for Luna here.
Luna wants to sack a unit here to activate Radiant Guardian, which is pretty nice.
Which will give 2 unique keywords with Lifesteal and Tough. And I think with 2 more keywords, Kaiser is leveled, right?
Yeah, Kaiser is already leveled.
Kaiser's already
but,
leveled, never mind.
But it's still like this Radiant Guardian is still very good. Tough makes it very awkward for any Gwen usually because a lot of your cards deal 1, right?
Yes, and if we are not able to make it not vulnerable, to injure it basically,
Yeah.
then this card is fairly hard to kill. And we dealt with that Nidalee proactively. Let me see, I forgot if we need to play around the Shurima deny here. Let me take a look.
I mean, it should be in the deck, right?
It definitely should be here. Yes, we do run Rite of Negation. So this proactive spell use was to play around Rite of Negation, I assume.
So the decision is now to play Nidalee or Kaiser, basically, right? The advantage of Nidalee is that you also have barrier available of the Tailstones beside it. But yeah, usually we should probably just go Kaiser, especially because we have 2.
And we will be able to make that Kaiser tough as well, generating potentially 2 really difficult to deal with units.
Yeah. And not only will this Kaiser be tough, like the future Kaiser, we expect this Kaiser probably to die, right?
We
but
do,
yeah, I mean yeah.
But any
there
future
currently is
Kaiser
not
having
a-
tough would be very neat.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Dorothy doesn't have a clear line here. Maybe just stun again. I mean, Dorothy probably has to like somehow play for this harrowing, at some point. So yeah, the question is like how do we get from here to a spot where herring actually will be good. This will be like a theme basically.
Yes.
And okay, we choose to not stun, or not stun yet at least.
Also, one thing that I didn't realize in the deck, analysis part, we are not running Ruination in this any Gwen list. And
Yeah.
Ruination is probably a tool that would be very strong, especially in like those board-based matchups. Just as a very good card to get like a lot of value for just one card.
Yeah. It's a bit awkward to fit, like especially if you want to run 2 Ferrens and a Herring. I think you just don't have the space for Ruination. So this is like more the proactive late game instead of like the reactive late game of Ruination.
Yes.
So I mean, it's different playstyles. I think both are fine. Yeah. So here, dealing the 1 damage to the Radiant Guardian is pretty nice.
It is pretty nice. Although it still does not die to Flock, which is kind of
It doesn't
funny.
die to Flock, yeah.
But it would die to any spell plus Flock, for example. Or just to the Scorched Earth, which we won't use.
Yeah, the Scorched Earth probably is reserved for Kaiser, right?
Probably, yes.
Yeah, and Kaiser blocks here. The reason why Luna blocks here is, I think, because there is barrier backup and also second Kaiser in hand. So yeah, I think it's probably fine. Okay, I guess we just
blocking
choose to
is
use
really nice. This forces Vendorti to use a spell, but a spell on a unit he doesn't really want to use a spell on, right?
Yeah, and this Flock, like this prevents Gwen level up as well, because now the Gwen is not striking for 3.
Yes.
So yeah, if the Flock gets committed here, is it already
could decide
locked in?
to use a spell
Not yet,
here,
yeah.
but I'm pretty sure it would be wrong to use
The Flock was
anything
on it,
on that Battle Bear.
yeah. I think Luna is pretty happy with Badger Bear, like stopping the Gwen level up and just dying to a Flock. Like,
Yes.
the Flock is now not here for you. I mean, you have Kaiser, you have Nidalee, and now you also have Deny, so yep.
Yes. And this turn pretty sweet as well. Also next turn very sweet with the Kaiser spell potentially. Although I'm not sure if you want to use the Kaiser spell instead of like replaying Kaiser. But I'm not sure here. Because it will be fairly difficult to get in the last bit of damage needed here.
Yeah, the quick attack overwhelm from Nidalee would be really nice to copy onto Kaiser. Luna is thinking about if she needs this 1 last mana or if she can like just pass and transform next turn.
Yes.
Because at the moment there's the mind game of is this Deny or is this Nidalee still?
Indeed.
Yeah. I mean, she has 12 mana next turn, which is, I mean, currently probably enough for everything, but yeah, depending on top deck, maybe you need the 1 additional mana, so yeah, there's not that much upside to hiding this Nidalee, so yeah, I also like just flipping her now. Yeah.
Since we don't have to worry about Ruination, I probably expect us not to open attack, maybe use the Kaiser spell on our spell shield unit.
I think it. We do open? I don't love it. I really want to have overwhelm on this Kaiser.
I mean, we still can use spell shield like the Kaiser spell, but that would mean we are losing our second Kaiser. And
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
Overwhelm,
yes.
giving Overwhelm to Kai'Sa can be kinda scarier since Nidalee can be killed, but it would need to be killed through a barrier, I guess.
Listen to your instincts.
But with this line, Kai'Sa at least has Overwhelm here. She also has Spell Shield. So let's see.
Interesting.
Need a hide.
Not exactly sure what we were scared of. We already like usually Enigma doesn't have that much development punish slow speed. I mean, Withering Mist would be one option, and also like the sentries. But we already saw 2 sentries, so yeah, I'm not sure. The thing is, we are attacking with Kai'Sa while she does not have quick attack as well, so now she actually takes damage. Yeah. So I'm not sure. It seems that developing would probably have been better. Um, yeah, I'm not exactly sure what we were playing around.
Let's see. So when Dorty probably just takes this block here. Yeah, he does. And now we have some board space to play for that Ruination. But Ruination is, and not Ruination, Harrowing.
Harrowing,
But
yeah.
Harrowing is always very scary for Vendorti because he is Luna's has keeping those Tailstones for a while now, and Vendorti is probably expecting this to be a Rite of Negation, since we have already seen him play around Rite of Negation once.
Although Rite of Negation is only a one-off in his deck, so I don't think Vendorti can afford to play around it.
So we are not choosing to use the second skin on Kai'Sa, which would technically give us more keywords, like give us Overwhelm as well. But Kai'Sa has a reasonable chance of being killed here. And if Kai'Sa's killed, we get a 2-for-1.
This is a interesting way.
I think this Veil is probably fairly fine. We deny the spell shield on future
On the
Kai'Sas.
future Kaisers, yeah.
And we also pop spell shield on this Kai'Sa.
Yeah, here we see why I didn't like using second Kaiser, right? It's so likely that the first Kaiser is dying that especially when she actually takes damage in combat.
Yes.
That now like it looks pretty hard for Luna still to put out enough pressure, even without this harrowing. Oh, okay. I guess that Dottie thinks that the harrowing is not necessary here. Then it's just fine.
I mean, he is probably right on harrowing not being necessary here.
Nothing to fear.
He is not threatened too much, I guess. And he is still thinking about that Rite of Negation, I guess. And if Luna had Rite of Negation and 2 strong developments, I think Vendorti would have been in trouble here.
Makes sense.
So we see that Durant unit giving tough to the Nidalee, which normally would be pretty decent, but Nidalee is already injured. And we see that Scorched Earth in hand, although it goes on the Radiant Guardian. So Vendorti is preparing to take this game to an end, disabling the lifesteal and going for the harrowing.
Oh, the
potentially
Farron top
next
deck
turn.
as well.
And this Farron top deck will probably decide the game here. We have one extra big swing with the for the Massa here potentially. Although Nidalee does sadly not level here, so we don't get overwhelmed on any of our units and are kinda just able to force good trades. And
So
with that
it's
Farron
either
coming down, not
yeah,
even
it's either Farron or remove. Either way, 2 units are connecting. But I mean, 2 units connecting is only 12 damage. So it's probably fine either way. Baron. Yeah, Baron's probably better offensively for the next turn. It needs to be full block.
Oh, this
Then go
game
to
is
1.
actually pretty close overall.
Yeah,
Okay,
going to 1.
we are
I
down
mean,
to 1 HP.
Withering Mist would have been a little bit more HP this turn, but yeah. Fine. I mean, now we probably see the Herring, I would imagine. Or actually, I mean, okay. So if Farron just swings here, it connects 3 damage, which is 1 off double decimate, right?
Uh,
So I think Herring is just forced.
wait, we... Yes, yes. That's not enough if we are using just Farron here. So we can develop any to maybe bait Luna into playing something else. And now we go for the Farron line, but that's
Yeah, I
not
mean,
enough
it would
damage.
force the Nidalee to block. Yeah, it has to be Herring. You can't play around the one of deny. Like, Herring, actually, what does Herring summon? It's Tibbers Gwen Gwen.
What is the human phrase?
Tibbers Gwen Gwen.
And Sentry, I
Oh,
think?
oh, and one more Gwen. Tibbers Gwen Gwen Gwen.
Oh,
What?
triple Gwen. Okay.
Did we actually play 3 Gwens?
I haven't realized that. But this looks pretty
Where did the
game
third
over.
Gwen come from? It's also only 2 hallowed. What? Wait.
It's actually kind
Luna
of
is
confusing.
something silent?
Oh, we removed keywords with the quicksand because
Ah,
handle
true.
is a keyword.
Yeah. Okay, okay.
Yeah. So
Sense.
this is actually lethal. Oh, I forgot
Yeah,
about
I
the,
mean, this
Baron.
3 Gwens is is a little bit too much.
It's a bit too much. Actually, we are living on one.
Oh my god.
But there's also 6 healing coming down. We need to open attack, otherwise we get decimated.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's basically no way for Luna to win at this point.
Any card that does anything here?
I don't think so.
Right?
We just get decimated
Yeah,
unless we are drawing Rite of Negation, and if we are drawing Rite of Negation we lose.
That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty close game.
Indeed, pretty close game. I really enjoyed the games we are seeing today. Those are some... I haven't enjoyed the meta too much with this new rotation, but it gives us some really interesting games to spectate.
There's a lot of variety in this meta currently. We see very different decks, right?
Yes.
Like in both lineups, like all decks are completely different, for example here. Okay, choosing not to keep the Janna even. So Vendorti is looking for a aggressive start. I mean, drawing Pool Shark would have been really good with this keep.
Oh, indeed, Pool Shark would have been insane. And now we are probably thinking about if we played Marion this turn, but I probably wouldn't. Just keep
No, I
Spellrunner.
don't think you can go for that. It costs you like too much.
Right.
Too many resources. Have to just chill a bit, I think, with this Jenna deck.
Yeah. So I think we are playing the elusive here this turn, despite it being challenged off. It's probably just good to get the slipstream in.
I think the pass is
Oh,
okay.
his pass is fine as
I mean,
well.
if Luna passes back, I think it's fine. Like, you save some HP, you save this unit, and burn 2 mana, which would be reasonable, I think. And after the attack, the development, yeah, it's a bit more precise than just jamming it.
Indeed, indeed. Oh, I expect Janna to be played this turn. I think there's probably no way we don't. It's a bit vulnerable to the Broadwing, but not Broadwing, into the strike spell on Broadwing. But I think
And
we
actually
want to
tap
get
out.
our draw engine enabled.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Luna wasn't really looking to strike this anyway because
Because we
it gets
want to
punished
develop,
by
right?
it gets punished by Mystic Shot too hard.
Oh yes, that is
Just
fair.
Mystic Shot the Broadwing and then like it just doesn't really resolve.
And now Vendort is in a fairly good spot, I would say, because we were able to develop this Janna fairly unpunished.
Yep. Yep. Janna into Cloudwinder, the classic curve.
Indeed. And now this hand from Vendorti just screams value. And we will see if he is able to survive like 1 or 2 turns more. Like, basically if Luna doesn't kill Vendorti in 4 turns, maybe, Vendorti has won the game probably. Maybe the timer is even closer, I don't know. But this looks fairly good. Also,
Yeah.
it's pretty hard to actually kill that Janna this turn. And as you said, we need to play around Mystic Shot. So we're
Why is
probably
this
just
one job not swinging? Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
not swinging with the green glade would have been a bit odd. Although I have to say this attack is kind of decent, right?
Yeah, it's pretty strong.
We are getting favorable trades, at least.
I think, yeah, it's even like a consideration to just stack this Jenna into the green glade here for a little bit more HP.
Maybe indeed. Although HP doesn't matter too much into those Demacia matchups. It's always only the last HP that matters, right? I mean,
that is true.
and this Janna will give us a lot of tempo next turn to develop more units and stuff.
Yeah. In this case there is form up.
And I expect...
no
it's
form up
not
coming
getting
down.
used. This is interesting. We are keeping form up for...
Yeah, form up basically for like lethal next turn, yeah.
Lethal next time. We are also not single combating Jenna with the Shen. So that's kind of surprising for me. I would expect Luna to value that Jenna way more.
Wind need not be seen to move our world.
But Luna decides that Jenna is not too important here.
And the reasoning probably is that at this point Vendorti can probably play all the important stuff anyway. Like there's enough mana now, but
so we are keeping our spells for kind of one cheesy lethal, I guess. That's kind of it.
Always got what I wanted. Now I gotta find what I
But I can definitely see it that Jenna's always able to fill their whole board this turn.
maybe we're still hoping for Fiora top deck. Like it's even possible that Fiora top deck is the only win con still, even though this would be pretty late. Um. Hmm. Is it better to Shen spell or just play a new Shen? I think it's
I
better to
mean,
just play a new Shen,
Shen
right?
spell gives us more level up progress,
Never up progress.
but
Actually,
we
that
are
Shen
playing a
spell does
into
level Shen immediately.
Mystic Shot, kind of.
Yeah, I mean Mystic Shot, but then that would only like kill. We would probably swap in. I don't know, who do we swap in? Probably like the 2-1. Or
I mean,
maybe a
Challenger is
3-1.
kinda decent. Although, I don't know.
Okay.
So, we
Thomas is
decide to
interesting.
form up here.
My tempest shall punish the wicked.
But the problem here is that Luna's only way to win here is basically a cheese win
I
con
will aid you, Mina,
with like
for you
swapping
face
with Shen. The
monsters.
problem is like
It is the
The
that
board is
Dorothy
full,
can just
yeah.
afford to full block every attack.
Yeah.
And then there's
I
basically
mean, this
no
Neela
way
has to
to
go.
win.
Yeah. I mean, Luna's attack, especially with Shen level up, will tax like basically the entire board. Without losing much herself, because everything has barrier, right?
Indeed.
Um,
Upon the driving
And
gate.
it kinda
yeah.
also depends on Luna's top deck. If you get very low value top decks, we... Ooh, I like that attack from Vendorti, actually, because we
Yeah,
can get
it's
damage.
Luna's tapped out.
Luna's tapped out and we force trades on units that will have barrier next turn.
Do not test me.
Yeah.
And now Luna has to think about how many units she wants to sack, and those two green grades would have forced a very unfavorable trade next turn.
This was like the big downside of not going Shen spell as well, right? Because if you had gone Shen spell this turn, you have like 3 barrier units. And there's just no attack from Aphrodite coming through at all, but... Yeah, now the Rex being drawn with a Slipstream in hand will probably just close the game. I mean, yeah, there's only open attack, right? I mean, Luna doesn't even have development. I guess we could try to Gentleman's Duel. Because the open attack doesn't really do that much, but also Gentleman's Duel is...
It's also not really doing that much.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of... It looks kind of doomed either way.
Let's see what happens here. We get to challenge the Jenna, which is kinda decent. We get... We can trade off like 2 units with that stand
Why?
united.
Okay, so Vendorti is just not slipstreaming first? I think that is very weird.
Maybe he's because he's not dying, maybe he's scared of losing the cards. He wants to... but
Yeah,
I don't
but
think he wants to pull Shark and use it next turn, so
he just doesn't get the cost reductions of the Jenna, but I guess it didn't matter because the cards don't cost anything.
Yes.
It's also... Okay, it's also just lethal, so... Okay,
I mean, Luna's
technically
clinging
not
to her
lethal.
life, but it's...
This is what we call technically alive.
Indeed.
The balance requires a watchful eye. I've been around. Let's go again. We playing bilge rules?
Yeah.
Where do you stand
And
on
this
cold
is...
shots?
This is the game. We might see
Yep.
a rematch today, since we are watching the winner's bracket right now. So we will see if Vendorti and Luna, probably 2 of the strongest contenders today, will meet again.
I have
Yep.
disgraced the
But
Kinku.
now we have seen Vendorti taking the win. Let me check if we can spectate another game. It seems like the other ones are also finished. Okay, so we will go into a short break and we'll see you later. Bye. And hello again. We will be spectating the... Oh, at first we have another guest as well here. Never Walk Alone is able to join us here as well on this cast.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, hello everybody.
I guess we can just update you on what happened and also update the viewer what happened until this point. Let's see. So I will pull up the schedule here. So we have seen a game against 3 games actually from Luna versus Kaizen. And those were pretty close. Very interesting to watch. We have seen Luna take a very clutch win here. And then we have seen Luna versus Vendorti. Vendorti winning 2-0 versus Luna. Also fairly interesting games to watch. And now we are in the lower finals with Lunaya playing versus ABG Kaizen. So we do have a rematch here on our hands. And we will see how that turns out. So we have already talked about both decks. But I guess we can look at them really quick again. Since you are now here. Oh, we're starting from the third deck, I guess. Yes, our first deck is from Kaizen, the Zoeyumi. We have seen that already. And Nora Sejuani, the Poro King. And from Lunaya's side, we have seen the Kaiser Niederlehr. We have seen Pantheon Shivana. And at last, Fiora Shen. So if we are going... Now we are going to the buns. To you two, what do we expect to get banned? Teddy has a small advantage here today because we have seen this match already, but the players might decide to bring something else today.
Yeah, I was following the stream. At least I was listening what you guys talking about. So I know what the bans were previously as well. So like at the first glance, I feel like Kaizen is kinda a favorite.
Yeah. It was
Like,
my
triple
initial opinion as well, yeah.
You know, like I can imagine his decks having a bigger ceiling, so like basically the potential of units going higher on the attack and health is like it's bigger, and the Lunaya kinda has to rely on a tempo plays or like maybe on a good alternative win cons like Pantheon or like Fiora or like a big unit from the Tycoon.
So
Yeah,
what
I
would
would
be...
imagine that Luna will stay with the same ban because it just worked last time. I don't really see a reason for her to change anything, I think. So just Nora's Sedge ban, I guess.
So
I
we
mean,
are
I would
planning...
personally still ban the Zoe deck, but
But what works, that works, and we will repeat
yeah.
what works, I guess.
Yeah, especially Sejuani is like it's like a unit that kind of counters Damacia. Like,
but it's
for
only a
the...
one of Sejuani, so
Okay.
yeah.
So do you expect that as well, Stan? Nora Sejuani?
I would probably ban the Yumi deck, honestly.
So you
Because
We're
both...
both scared of that deck, yeah. It's
because it's just like the strongest overall,
Grad
like
nicht
the
mit
most
dir.
yeah.
consistent, I would say.
Yeah, I think
Danke.
so as well, but and then I'm curious if this Fiora deck is now gonna get banned by Kaizen finally, or if he's also sticking with the Oh, this is the Kaiser deck, right? Okay, so the image is just wrong. Yeah, I was like, that's why you always said Civian enemy
Yes.
because yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I still would like to see the Fiora ban, but that would be maybe an adjustment that Kaizen can make since
So
it
we
didn't
are
work out
expecting
last
Fiora
time.
to be banned here. Or maybe
I'm
not
expecting
expecting,
Nidali,
but
honestly.
hoping. And
I'm expecting Nidali to be banned.
that was
Maybe.
the ban expectation for Teddy last time as well, just because it's the deck with the most value here. I think, yes. And
I think last time I also predicted Fiora ban, and it actually was the Kaiser ban last time.
oh yes, it was the Kaiser ban. True, I remember. Okay.
I mean, the truth is that all the decks are pretty close to each other. Like, there is no deck that is like way stronger than others right now, I would say. Like, there is no dominating deck. Like, month ago, I would blindly say that people are gonna ban Naira Jana. In many scenarios here, it's hard to say.
Okay. I mean, we also had that the last time on bans that those are pretty close matchups.
Yeah, the players just stayed with the same bands as last time.
Indeed. And we are going to Mulligans. We see that Zoe on 1. We have seen that the last time as well, but we have not seen this matchup, I think. Have we seen it? I think we see this.
I think last time it was.
It was no, it was actually Fiora versus Zoe. Yes,
Yeah, this was the first game last time as well, right? Where like a Fiora deck was 1 damage of lethal for 2 turns.
So yes, indeed. So we see both players being confident in their decisions last time, bringing the same decks first, running the same decks again.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't expect Zoe in this matchup to be like a leveling up win con, but it can be a good tool to generate some quietus, some stuns.
Yeah, this time Kaizen has the way stronger early game opening. With Zoe and then Dog getting a hit in, whereas Luna passed like for 2 turns. I think Luna almost has to try to win through this Fiora now in this game. Because, yeah.
Yeah, almost the Sunburst is like a clear answer.
Yeah.
Like the only protection is deny, right? In this list, I think.
Yeah.
Counter this Sunburst.
Yeah, and it's coming out immediately, so. Yep. Yeah, the game already is looking pretty good for Kaizen, I would say. Like, it's very stable. And there's like a buffed Refner in the hand. There's like a 4 for Refner in the hand. So. Pretty scary.
So basically, if we are not ending the game soon, we will get outgrown. Like, insanely much.
And we are definitely not ending this game.
Not with this hand. So this might actually be the first game we are watching today that's not even gonna be close.
I mean, I think if Luna top decks Fiora, there's still a shot. Because they are, at this point, there are still a bunch of small units on the board that Fiora could maybe snack up.
So
but yeah.
Our win condition would be not to block here, basically, and let this dog live for Fiora.
Yeah, it's very counterintuitive though to do that. If you had Fiora in hand, maybe, but the thing is, Luna doesn't know that there's a 4 for Refner coming, so
yeah, indeed.
You never can make the play.
Without that 4 for Revner incoming.
Yeah.
That's not too reasonable to do that here.
Yeah, but with the Solari Priestess in a Kaizen hand already, there is a big chance of getting the Comet, so Even Fiora might not be enough.
I think
true,
there
true.
might actually be a chance we are using the spell shield here, not the spell shield barrier here. Oh, we actually do.
Yeah, I mean, Luna has to play around this board somehow, right? I mean, the entire hand is just combat tricks, so...
Yes.
Spirit Refuge as well.
And now we are in a similar spot than last game, where we have to put pressure on this turn, so Kaizen is not able to develop Revna this turn. The problem is, though, we are
Yeah.
not able to do that.
I mean, in this game, Kaizen is just on 20, and there's no way we don't play the Sorcerer Revna. Like, the 4/4 stat line even just contests the board decently as well, so it's not even a bad development.
Indeed. And now it just looks pretty grim. If we are using like Spirit's Refuge, we can't do anything else, and our shades are kind of finish.
Yeah, that Yumi is pretty big already.
Yeah,
I don't know if you want to use it on a Zoe or maybe on an Explorer unit actually, to have a unit that can heal. Not anymore, I guess.
I mean, the Zoe is also very close to level up here. I think she's
That is
guaranteed
true,
to
yeah.
level.
And
Yeah.
with Yumi and Sky Splitter, she kinda outgrows everything we can throw at her.
Interesting. Not going for Solar Priest this turn. Yeah, I mean,
I guess it's just
fine,
back up
yeah.
against combat chicks to Zoe.
Yeah.
But it means we are not going as wide this turn as we could be otherwise.
Yeah, if Luna had like 2 smaller units with some buffs next turn, maybe she could be like somehow close to Lethal, but
Yeah, this is never gonna work. There's also Hush. Oh my god. Yeah, I think this this Mihira might be a little bit too much.
I mean, this unit being for so long just a meme, and
Yeah.
now being an actual choice.
Although
I think it's
maybe
just
one
one-off, right?
could
in
argue
the deck?
It's just a one-off,
for
yeah.
it to be kinda overkill in this deck.
It is nice on 5 to buff your Revna, basically.
Oh, that's...
Like, you play it pre-Revna and then you're like online. And if they have to like spend resources killing the Mihira on 5, they maybe don't put out pressure and then you can Revna in peace anyway. So, I mean, I can see it as a one-off.
Yes.
Yeah. I also, if it's buffed, then it's crazy, right? So.
Indeed, this Mihira
Yeah.
is just...
I wonder if, yeah, we're like full greeting for, like, Mihira will give the entire board elusive lifesteal. Is that how Empowered works? It is, right? Yeah. Yeah,
I
it just
think
counts.
it works like that.
So we're not even greeting for the +1/+1 this turn. We're just like playing all the units and then, yeah.
I would expect surrender as soon as Luna
Mihira
sees-
is the board, yeah. I mean, Luna's like, ha, the Zoe doesn't have elusive now. And then, I don't know.
Oh, they're not going wider.
This is...
It's yeah. And this is why we ban this Zoe deck, like this Raptor deck. If I can't. Like, you can't really stop it with Luna's decks as well, right? Like, if they draw like this, just Omen Hawk Dog into a big Revna, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, that's why I kind of wanted to ban it, like,
Yeah.
because it's just I think it's just doing like the most stupid things from
Yes.
or those decks.
Okay. We will get another one. We
We see the king in the opening hand.
And we do
And
see
also
the
Vengeance Keep, yeah. Vengeance Keep in case of Fiora. Yep. So, and this opener is, like, if I were Kaizen with this opening hand, I would be feeling very comfortable.
So we have,
Because we have,
some
like,
small
two sort of
Poros, we have the Poro King, and we have Vengeance for interaction against Fiora. This does look pretty good for Kaizen here.
It is
But
a
Ruination.
quite slow hand, but I think it's...
Yeah.
The side deck is kind of fine-ish with slow hands.
Slow is completely fine. Especially because Luna doesn't have the most aggressive opener as well. I mean, yeah, we have two challenger units, we put a little bit of pressure out, but this path is interesting. Would have liked to see just Aurora Borealis even just slam it, you know? Because Luna can potentially pass back there, but
That's very unlikely that like the Poro deck cannot do anything on turn 3 with 5 mana.
yeah.
We actually
I'm not a
do get
big
Fiora.
fan of playing elusive Poro here, honestly. Because it does not progress your Poro King, we already played one, right? So you just put the elusive Poro out to push 1 damage basically. And then it dies to Challenger. And like this elusive Poro later on is pretty valuable after it's buffed.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely
was-
agree with you.
Not developing is also kinda interesting.
I mean, we want a concerted strike for the Poro King
For the
basically.
Poro King indeed.
Okay, and now that Poro King is no longer available, we can develop. Probably just Shen.
Although Soul Harvest is a big punishment.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
Also, if we are Shanning here
Okay,
and they Soul Harvest, this is a good time to use the Soul Harvest since we don't get the buff. But the buff doesn't matter too much. I mean, we can't use the buff in combat this turn, I mean. But that doesn't matter in this matchup.
Poro King is still only 5 out of 6. Okay, with this Descent Poro top.
Yeah, now it's
The Fiora top deck is fairly interesting here, I would say. We do have a bunch of small units to take advantage
Yeah,
of.
definitely slam Fiora here. And also against the Poro King, we can, with Concerted Strike, we can get our first. Wait. Poro King's still not coming down. I guess it's Ruination time again.
We are kind of forced to use Ruination, maybe even next turn. And
Yeah.
if Luna top decks Denier, this is pretty bad.
Is Luna running 1 or 2 denies?
I think she's running 1, I can check. Let's see.
Yeah, this Ruination is devastating, especially if you develop into it.
And it.
Yeah. This time gambling for no deny works.
Yeah, to the nice in the Luna deck.
Yeah. It's just kind of unfortunate then. Not having deny there.
And I would assume it's the one and only Ruination in a...
Oh, this
It is the one and only Ruination.
yes.
We are running 2 Vengeance, 1 Ruination, and we have drawn 1 Vengeance and 1 Ruination.
Now let's see if we can generate freezing next. No, okay. Not on the first one. Maybe on this one? Yeah, there's the freeze.
This is pretty
So
much game
now,
over here.
I mean, Concerted Strike is kind of forced. You have to gamble that there's no freeze, I think. It doesn't feel good, because there are 2 snakes, right? But, I mean, kind of have to go for it here. And then, yeah, this Wait. What?
Oh.
That was what?
That was kinda the wrong snack here.
Yep.
Wait, what? What just happened?
Although it sadly does not make any difference here, I would say. This game.
I mean,
I
there
mean,
is judgment. I mean,
maybe with judgment, but
like
until now,
this
those
swing and
powers
then
are
defend
just...
with judgment. Like it's not
I mean, we
over.
still have those freezing snacks against the judgment.
I guess we keep the. Did we keep the freezing snakes on purpose for the judgment? But the king, I
no,
don't
no
know.
way, no way.
It's.
I mean, it's one way to play around judgment. You could also like keep king alive and outgrow judgment, but
I don't know. It felt just like a misclick, honestly, on the snakes.
indeed.
Like there was no delay as well. He just so confidently clicked the snakes. I don't know. Oh, live the Destined Horror as well. That is pretty important.
Life's the Overwhelm is pretty sweet as a combo.
Yeah, as you said, Arma, like Luna, in the next 2 turns, won't have big enough unit to even use the judgment.
Yeah.
Like maybe this turn.
And Luna has to expect that there's no freezing snacks, right? Like, there's no way Luna expects this freezing snake after the Poro King just died like that.
So we are mind gaming pretty hard here. Oh, we are also setting up the...
But, okay, why did we even do that? I guess,
At this point, Kaiser is just taunting.
yeah. Going for the mental
Yeah,
damage.
I think this Poro King from the top just seals the deal.
Yeah, for sure. It was already very hard against this freezing snake.
Yeah, I'm wondering about the deck choice from Luna's side because I feel like there are at least 2 better decks with Fiora right now, or that are working better on at least on the
Yeah,
ladder.
the
Yes.
Ravna version for sure, yeah. And then
Yeah, there's Revna Fiora. That's...
I think that it's just the stronger version. The only advantage Ionia provides is that you have the deny to protect against stuff like Ruination, but yeah.
Although
but the
the
thing is, in
deny
this meta, there is
would
not
have
too
made
many
a
of
big
those.
difference in this game, right? If we actually had deny,
Mhm.
that would
Yeah.
have been the difference maker.
This game was just decided by the Ruination, honestly.
Like Kaizen even like ate a wrong snack, let's say. Let's put it like that. And yeah, it still doesn't change the outcome.
Another freezing snake. At this point, it didn't even matter anymore, but like the freezing snake is just so good in this matchup. It's not even fair.
Yeah.
No third one.
Ah, okay, yeah. Rainbow Snake with the additional +1/+1 was only on champions, yeah. That is what I remembered.
Hmm.
We were talking about it earlier.
And we both weren't too sure about what the useless snack is doing.
I mean, you can hire her sometimes, something. like a barrier when the Poro King is targeted, for example. Or like spell shield. rather.
Barrier or spell shield would be pretty sweet indeed.
I mean, I guess you cannot hit barrier, but like spell shield, I meant.
You're strange.
Weird that we didn't challenge the lifesteal to the left.
Because we
I
can
guess
freeze
we
it.
have freeze anyway,
Anyways.
yeah. I mean, we will see a judgment this turn.
Are we
Like,
even
there's
living?
no... It doesn't even do that much, but...
I think we are still losing even with judgment, right? We are getting in.
Yeah.
That's still lethal.
I mean, okay.
Come on, just end the game already, guys.
Oh no, it
please.
would not have been lethal. Oh, never mind.
Oh.
I guess Kaizen's strategy is to keep those freezes for the matchup against Vendorti.
Yeah.
He knows they are pretty strong cards.
Yeah, just keep them for the next game. Come on, man. Just end it already. Luna doesn't even have a playable card. Come on.
Yeah, 3 strikes to barrier and the 1 drop.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh.
Okay.
We've made it.
I mean... yeah, seeing how ridiculous these two games were... like it's... we can see why we were like saying Kaiser was favored, right? Because like... look at these boards. They're just like... so big. And then Luna's just sitting there playing some sort of fair de master game.
Indeed.
I mean, yeah, this deck like was pretty efficient in the first season.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, if Luna just had deny for the Ruination, she just wins immediately there, basically. So, I mean, and with 2 denies, we calculated at some point that it's around a 50-50 to have it, when, yeah, on like turn 6, 7, something like that, so.
Yeah, but I honestly I'm saying that like I'm laughing a little bit about this deck, but like the choice was reasonable because like she was probably expecting some mid-range decks like barrier decks works pretty well against them. Like
yeah, her lineup is
in the
also
past it was like that, right?
her lineup is also really good against aggro, so yeah, just didn't line up well against these matchup basically.
Indeed. So we do have our 2 finalists ready, but we will still have a short break and we will see you in 5 minutes. Bye. Oh, hello again. We are back to spectate the finals today. Potentially the last game, depending on if Kaizen or Vendorti are winning. Because how it works today is that Kaizen has been losing to Lunaya in his first game we spectated today. So went into the loser bracket, and our finalists are fighting it out today. But Kaizen needs to win two games to advance to be the finalist that's still standing at the end. And Vendorti only needs to win one. Right. I think we can.
It looks like Kaizen learned from his first game today because he lost to Runaya in semifinals, but he managed to take a win in the lower finals.
Indeed, we have seen seeing that a rematch was kind of interesting. I think. I mean, those second games were kind of hilarious in some kind of way, but we can see how one matchup can give pretty close and interesting games at the one if you get like one hand, and with the other hand we get like a complete stomp. But well, we will have our finalists coming up next, and since we have seen both decks already, I will go to the buns and let you two decide what you think will get banned in this best of 3. What is best? You can say what's getting banned.
Yeah, honestly, considering the previous games that we've seen and considering also what I'm seeing on the ladder, like Jana Naira might be. I mean, it can sound like weird, but it might be like one of the weakest decks from those 6 right now. I mean that's a strong deck, but like in this scenario, I probably will keep. I mean, I wouldn't ban this deck as a Kaizen. I will keep it on.
I have the feeling that both players are just gonna ban the Refner deck. Like, you just can't.
Yeah, I also.
So we have we have a pretty easier guess from both of you to just say we ban Revner, or
I think Kaizen's lineup should do pretty decent into any Gwen as well. So yeah, I think leaving that open makes a lot of sense.
okay. Let's see what. So we have. So you both are saying we ban double Zoe here and Zoe there. Let's see what our play. Yeah.
If like the Revna deck hits a buffs on a good unit, like you cannot do much when you play against them.
You're the any Gwen expert, right? I think you play that deck a lot, right?
Yeah, I'm playing it like quite a lot recently.
How would you feel about any Gwen into this lineup? Do you think that deck has good winning chances against a Poro King or the Snorra deck, or?
Yeah, it definitely has winning chances. Like, my question is like the Poro deck is not running any landmark removal, I assume, or maybe there are some explorers with me. Like, because this is quite important.
I don't think it does. No, I don't think Poro deck can afford to run like non-Poro cards, kind of.
Yeah, I also don't think. Because the issue is like either you play the landmark pretty early,
Hmm.
and it's active on turn 6, 7, or you don't do it, like the landmark is active pretty late without playing it. So like there is always this question, right? If you want to
Yeah.
play it and risk it being destroyed.
So against the pro deck, you would probably like actually actively mulligan for it and play it on turn 1, basically, right? Because there's no
Yeah,
X4.
normally also like champions are pretty good against
Yeah,
poros, but
okay. Yeah.
here actually there is like quite a lot of removals, right? Especially like Soul Harvest, pretty efficient in against our champions. So
Oh,
yeah, probably Raven Bloom is like a hard mulligan in this matchup.
There's also Ruination to answer Harrowing in theory, so that's like one win condition that's not as reliable as usual.
oh,
Yeah, but you need to remember, like even if it's getting answered with Ruination, but if it's summoning like additionally two Tyborgs, like
Yeah, of course.
you are still getting like two
Yeah, that's
buffs like on
yeah.
everything. So
And also another Farron or something, right?
oh yeah.
So yeah, what I mean is like you need like your tie box and can't just rely on harrowing with some Gwents or something. That's probably not
Oh
gonna.
yeah, definitely.
okay. So the players have decided to actually ban the Poro King. I mean, when Doughty decided to ban Poro King. And Kaizen went with the expected Zoe Braum ban.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean Poro King also makes sense. It is a pretty scary deck for this lineup.
If you look at the Soul Harvest, it's a card that kills every single champion from the Vendorti lineup.
Yeah.
For like 3 mana, so it's pretty insane.
But yeah, the Revner deck should perform quite well though into these two. Like, yeah, if you can get big lifesteal units on board, especially Jin and Neela doesn't do that much against big lifesteal units. Any Gwen can like maybe hard remove a few of them, but yeah, they don't have like infinite resources either. So yeah.
Yeah, like when you play like Revna and get those big stats on all the units, like the Gwen Any is like on a clock to close the game pretty fast. And like the deck is not good in closing games fast, so
Let's see. We do get into the game.
Okay, I mean, Zoe definitely a keep, right? Yeah, just Zoe keep. Makes sense. Revner in the opening hand. Usually you prefer to draw into it after buffing, but I feel like even a 2/2 Revner very often is like good enough. Okay.
And I think it's the... I don't think we have seen a game where Kaizen didn't have this Zoe on one.
True.
That's...
Oh, not playing Omen Hawk is interesting. Do we want Sunburst for anything, or?
I mean Sunburst
maybe the
for
point is the
Neela
development,
wouldn't
but
even be too bad here. If we are
yeah,
developing here.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why we kept Owen Hawk. I guess it represents Spirits Unleashed, so like when Doughty is scared to develop into it, basically.
Oh yes, when Doughty might be afraid to develop the Windborn Mariners. If he is
Yeah,
getting a high roll turn, basically.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. I mean Kaisen just didn't want Vendorti to go for like a big Marina push on turn 3, right? That deck can sometimes do that, so representing the Spirits Unleashed makes sense.
Yeah, Slipstream fishing for Janna probably. Not finding it, but that's not the end of the day because we have like ways to updraft our cards, obviously in this deck.
Yeah, and hitting the what's it called? The stress testing is pretty nice. You can just leave it there and it will just draw your cards automatically.
That makes the Nila flip even faster than it Janna Nila was previously able to do that, and they were able to do that pretty fast already. Just being able to have this stress testing improves this deck massively.
Yeah, but overall it's a pretty slow hand from Vendorti, I would say.
That's fine though. So the question is, do we go for a Marina push this turn? I mean, there's still Spirits Unleashed possible in theory, right? So, I mean, committing one definitely is fine. Oh, wait, how far is Nila? Okay, Nila is 11. Okay. There's like almost a level up here. There is actually Nila level up. If you discard the stress testing, and then, yeah. Like turn 5
exactly,
Nila
yeah.
level up is pretty insane.
Pretty insane indeed. You can also think about playing the Urchin to have backup for one more spell, but doesn't really matter.
Yeah, usually keeping Urchin is nice for the Rex turn.
Oh,
in case you, yeah, in case you draw like the last stress testing or something.
Also, we wanted to put back Naira into our deck rather than discard her.
Yep, makes sense.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I mean this is okay.
Oh,
yep.
That's a decent amount of life steal. It's a bit unfortunate that this Nila is attacking first, so we don't get the full value out of this lifesteal. So this is good attack order by Vendorti here.
So Zoe is somewhat close to leveling, but I mean there are 2 Mystic Shots in Vendorti's O. That's not enough.
And if Zoe levels, we could give our whole board lifesteal. The problem is...
So, if there's Mystic Shot, like, it is possible to hit Moonsilver off this Star Shard in theory.
So how far is Zoe right now?
Zoe is 7, now 8.
Okay.
So we will probably see a Mystic Shot. Then, yeah.
And then we are fishing for us Moonsilver.
Yeah, but here, I mean, like Sky Splitter is so much more natural, but then, yeah. Like, it only loses to second Mystic Shot.
Oh, yes.
Basically.
That's true.
So it's, yeah, it's a hard decision. That's why I didn't like the Charger that much. Like, I would have preferred to just go Star Chart first. Because if you Star Chart first, you can hit Moonsilver or the Snake, right?
Yes.
Then you have like guaranteed Zoe level up. Yeah, the Charger just costing the 1 mana. This, yeah, could have been like even the game deciding misplay.
Wait, but didn't Zoe have seen the Star already, no?
Did she?
Yeah, I guess we got.
We already got the Charger from somewhere, right?
For 1, no?
Yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah, no,
Oh, yeah.
then it was okay, yeah. Yeah, I thought I only remembered the lifesteal guy, but yeah, those were two bugs. So okay, yeah. Then this line is completely fine. Double Mystic Shot was just kind of unfortunate for Tyson. There is this Golden Sister. And Kaizen didn't really have time to play Revna yet, and because it's a 2 to Revna, the priority is also a bit lower than usual.
And you will probably also not play it next turn, since
Yeah, I
the
think this Golden
sisters are
Sister needs to come down.
kinda
Yeah.
important.
The light of my star warms the heavens.
And now it kinda depends a bit on Vendorti's top decks, how fast he is at closing out his
Yeah,
games.
the most
if he's
insane draw
finding
would be
Rex,
Rex here. Yeah.
if he's finding Rex, this game is basically over. The Marinier can be decent as well, but that's Kaizen has a good chance of still being in this game with this lifesteal from those two units, with the stun in hand, healing in hand.
Yeah, like
But
Vendorti
I
is having
don't
high value hands,
know
but
if I like the attack, since Vendorti can still like pump out an insane amount of units, right?
The thing is, like, trying to cash in on the lifesteal right now, instead of having them removed by like Howling Gale,
Oh, indeed, yes.
is an upside of this. So
This is an upside.
we actually see two Howling Gales in the hand, by the way. So yeah, I think this attack is fine. Yeah, Kaizen also has the stun on defense, so like this turn he's definitely not dying.
Especially since we know that this Jana Lila version does not run too much burn. This Mystic Shot in hand is our last amount of burn.
Does he play 2 already?
We played 2 on the Zoe.
True, yeah.
but the thing is that Kaizen also didn't progress his game plan too much yet. Like,
Yeah, I don't
haven't
really
played
love this
Revna.
lifesteal units. I would have just jammed Revna here. I mean, why are we... Yeah... like, we have the stun alongside of Revna, right? So... I don't really see the point of playing this 2-2 instead of Revna. But I guess if we don't have to stun, then can still play Revna post combat. So also, how highly would we value this Zoe here? Like, does Zoe just jump, or are we still trying to level her again?
I mean, Zoe is not too valuable here, right? She's not really leveling with this hand, and we are not getting any hits in, since we have 2 elusive units.
but we already seen like 2 Mystic Shots and like
And Howling Gale, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, keeping Zoe for 3 HP would probably have been better. Like, in my opinion, like going to 6, you won't die from 6 to burn, right, against this list. So, if Zoe needs to jump, she can still jump on the next attack, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I guess here Vendorti is just waiting at shooting any lifesteal units that Kaizen will develop. We might also see Mystic Shot on Revna this turn, but I would expect that Mystic Shot will be kept for burn finish most of the time.
Maybe. I mean, killing units is burn, kinda.
It kinda is burn, but it's like interactable burn since we can cast like Sky Splitter. Ooh, we get this.
Yeah, because
Nice
when Doughty
triple
passed, he did not like progress his Howling Gale for this turn yet. So he couldn't like, unless he wanted to like slipstream into like maybe something. Does this change anything? No. Okay. Oh, we Mystic Shot our own units. I don't think that's worth it.
I mean, we do have.
I really don't like it.
We do have an elusive Wincon here, right? Kind of, from Vendorti's point of view. We get Nila attack with 3 elusive units hitting in. I think we are running the Janna spell main deck, maybe. I'm not too sure. Let's see.
Yeah, we are playing 2.
I guess these blockers all don't really matter. Like the only blocker, the only unit that can be blocked is this 2/2 quick attack. Everything else is just either brash or elusive.
Yes.
I don't think we play this. I don't know why we are. I guess we wanted a different card.
Oh, we actually have one more brash attacker if we do it like this.
I guess we're just full on in, yeah. I guess it's okay. Ah yeah, the Neela was fleeting, right? Yeah.
Yes, it was fleeting.
Yeah, no, then it's fine.
Yeah, there are some slipstreams in the Vendorti deck.
Oh, but he hasn't drawn any of them. That's unfortunate.
So, I mean, this is just... The open attack is like, oh, we're doing this thing.
And this
has to
will
be
need to get
stunned.
stunned. So we
Stun
can
is living
stun
on
6
2 and there
damage.
is no more burn in the deck. So... Stun is just safe. And I think all Howling Gales have also been used. I think we can just jam Mihira here. Ah,
Yeah,
you didn't pay attention. The seal was just not necessary. I think Mihira is literally unremovable.
I mean Rex is right.
Yeah, Rex, but I don't think we can play around Rex. Rex could, like...
Yeah, like that's
closing anyway.
That's the point when you just make risky plays.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way how you can win from this spot, most likely.
Getting Mihira on the board last turn would have potentially enabled, like, this would grow to 3/3 until the next attack, right, from Vendorti. So maybe if you find an additional buff to the Spell Cascade, it would even have lifesteal. But yeah, now... I guess we're just looking for a different lifesteal unit. And we would even have had this buffed, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's like a little bit of hindsight, but I think that was like the win condition to get this Mihira online. I mean, Dorothy just says, okay, I have another one.
That's the third. I think it's the third Nila. Is it? I'm not sure.
Oh.
And we have an answer for
One
that.
got updrafted, I don't know, but like...
Oh, yeah, yes,
Even-
that's true. One.
Even if this is enough, the last one, I think... should be enough to close it without her.
Oh, that's
The Doughty is almost out of cards, by the way.
a...
It's like 3
Yeah,
cards.
I would expect that.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't seen many Rexes yet, so I would assume
it's-
there are like maybe. Is he on 3 Rex?
Oh, this is actually a pretty...
This list is on one Rex only. And this
Ah,
is-
okay, okay.
Actually is a pretty bad Rex hit, I would say, but...
Yeah. Honestly, I think Vendorti should have just gone for second Slipstream as well for the one additional Rex proc, because it's all in anyway.
Indeed. Like this we have one more damage.
Shield up.
We have more damage from the draw 2 spell this turn.
I mean,
Yeah, but-
barely, but like he got it.
Yeah.
Ah, that was pretty close.
I think maybe some different lines from Kaizen, and that was winnable.
Yeah. I mean, not playing Mihira, like playing around the Rex, just it was like a line that tries to play to save or like immediately, and not thinking into like how can I actually stabilize this game state. I think.
This game is, in a lot of cases, very much about risk assessment, taking necessary risks. And this is also why we decided to use this league's format. So we have seen a lot of rematches, and I think it's good for the players to have those rematches. So we are rewarded for taking the necessary risks at some points.
The double Spirits Unleashed is very good.
Yeah,
I
it is,
mean,
but yeah, you
delayed
don't
one.
you don't use the card like with units on the board because it damages all units.
Yeah,
on your
exactly.
side. Oh.
But having this
So
in the
just-
opener, like you can just get this down early and then, yeah,
definitely.
like get the buff. Yeah.
You're not expecting any pressure coming from any Gwen, so this is a bad matchup. Like, problem in this matchup is that the Revna deck is playing quite a lot of landmark removal, so you cannot just slam the landmark.
So do you think you can afford in this matchup to just wait with the landmark until it's actually leveled?
If you have both champions,
Yeah, it depends
like
on the
both
hand,
champions
yeah.
quite fast can progress, even if you have it in a hand all the time.
I'm guessing with the any Gwen, like pushing damage is not too much of a priority for Vendorti here most of the time, because we have so much healing on the side of Kaizen. So that's probably not something he's gonna prioritize.
Yeah.
But what
not
he
about
is
pushing damage, but it's
prioritizing
like-
is reducing value.
It's like
here.
about it's about just progressing this landmark basically.
We are progressing the landmark, and we are denying the Zoe hit is pretty important here, because like if Zoe hits we get another unit, maybe even the dog that draws another unit, which will give
another Zoe.
exponentially more value.
Yeah, I don't mind these blocks. We were saying if you want to use a spell on this unicorn, it's like fine.
It is pretty much fine, but also probably the right line for Vendorti to use this spell here.
Yeah, for sure. Ha!
And we
Wait,
are
but then why no pair? So yeah, okay, we have Spirits Unleashed.
Yeah, I mean that was quite risky into a... actually not, because we have Pale backup, so...
Oh, and we are killing the
It's
Gwen
a
with
flop, but
Spirit
yeah,
and
but then it
Spirit
still dies with a quick attack, but yeah. against single ping.
So let's see where our landmark is at 6 at the moment. So it will take a bit.
Yeah, even with two champions, it's like quite slowly progressing in a hand. That's why like the games when you play it on turn 1 looks like way different. But you just cannot afford to do it.
I didn't really like that Doherty just passed there.
Oh,
I think slamming Timbers was better, no?
this pass put him in a pretty bad position, I would say, because now he was forced to open attack with any, which
I'm not sure if Doherty is like can afford to play this slow, but maybe.
the problem is if he is giving Kaizen time to find like more units and stuff, this any deck will eventually get outvalued, I think.
Yeah, the saving grace is that there's no Revna, basically. If 4 for Revna had been played, it would get out of control really fast. But just the +2/+2 is the like reasonable to deal with.
Yes. I mean, here we basically have a kill with double Withering Mist on 2 units, which would be kinda decent.
Yeah, but that also uses up all of your healing in the hand, so yeah, I think the stun is fine. Oh, and there's the Revna for next turn.
We tend the fire and hope for her return.
Yeah, with this Revna draw, I think the game is looking really good for Kaizen already. There's not that much in this herring either at this moment. Like there's a Gwen.
Yeah,
Ooh,
but
but
we
this
put a
Tibbers is
good turn
this
for Tibbers.
Tibbers is
Yeah,
pretty
Tibbers
pretty
is
decent.
very nice. That's
And if
basically
you're
your
developing
entire turn,
Revna
right?
here, I mean, even if we have Sentry, Revna is pretty safe to develop here.
Yeah, oh my god.
And at this point, we basically
His
need
tail
to have
block, yeah.
Tibbers and not
Oh
Tibbers.
my god, there's another Revna.
This one is
It's,
definitely bigger.
I think I would just play Yumi without attaching, just to be a little bit wider. Like, attaching on the damaged Zoe is weird, okay. Don't play Yumi at all. I guess that's fine, but I think a Yumi on board would be nice. Okay, like, can we talk about these dogs?
Those dogs are pretty big.
Yeah. I mean, this Yumi on board would have been like 8-7 immediately, so it would be a 9-8 already this turn. I think would have been pretty good. And we know that there's no Ruination in Doherty's deck, so you can just slam everything.
I don't even know if having such a big dog is legal.
Yeah, what did you feed this dog? Like,
Especially that they are like totally out of control.
okay.
This meta is just missing some good Ionia decks that just don't care about stats.
I don't know. Yeah, Twin Disciplines not being in the rotation makes Ionia hard to play.
I mean, the issue is that Ionia is kinda not playable, besides like some niche combo decks, maybe Azerelia. But Azerelia into this is kinda miserable as well, I think.
Why did we not attack, man? Oh my god. What am I looking at? There's another dog. I guess we kept this Yumi to attach it to Mihira, yeah? That's what the plan is.
Yeah, probably. I think the Kaizen just decided to wait for the third dog just to, you know, attack with all power.
I mean, not attacking was probably like something about about herring, but I don't know. Like the units that were on the board are the champions you want anyway out of Herring, so like okay, you can sack a Gwen and Annie and then resummon them, like I don't know what we're playing around really.
So the only saving grace for Vendorti is kinda that Kaizen doesn't have healing in hand. But I mean Yumi plus Mihira would be healing. But Vendorti is probably just dying next turn.
Yeah. I mean
Or being forced to
it
use
is
defensive
Mihira Yumi
arrowing.
for sure, right?
Humanity's darkest hour demands my return.
Yeah, box. Okay. Can we now just play the Yumi, please? Bro, you don't have to attach the cat. Just put the cat on the board. Okay, she's a strong and independent cat. It's okay.
We still have some leeway. There's no healing for Kaizen, and we are surviving until now. I mean, not anymore. we found our healing.
Oh, thanks,
Um,
man.
Box might not be now.
Box this. I think defensive herring is even forced, right?
It is
like,
forced, it is forced.
How are you? Yeah, I mean you have to play it, but you can also just
I
click
can
top
also
right.
just concede, yes.
Yeah, at this point. If you have to use your herring like this, it's just over, yeah.
Ah.
I mean, it was over anyway, so yeah.
So, when Doughty found the correct line, and we will get to see a third game.
No.
This is the matchup I do not have so much experience on. Like the Sejuani Nora is not the most popular deck right now. But I assume that like the mini wars are not too useful in this matchup.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, they can like get some of your units out of the herring, I guess. Like if you minimorph like a Tyborg, it makes the herring weaker, but I think at that point you're like kind of outscaled already anyway. I think this Nora deck needs to put out pressure early. The thing is, I mean, any Gwen is pretty good at dealing with early pressure, right? That's kind of what it's designed to do.
And kinda good in removing the units.
Oh, this hand is a little awkward, yeah. I guess, do we go Withering Mist here?
It's probably just the most mana efficient play here.
We have to play these cards anyway to get progress going on Ravenplume, so...
Yes. Ooh, that's a low roll, I guess.
I mean, yeah, there are 3 porters in the deck. And, wow, still no porter. But next turn, there's like gonna be a full board of random stuff.
Combined with the not Portabulusa, the 6 cost spell
Yeah,
that shuffles the
exactly.
shrooms. So Vendorti is on a timer already.
It's actually not so bad that there were no porters hit, because it makes Vendorti skip his turn, right? Otherwise he would like spider flock something.
Yes.
Yeah, but now we have only 3 units. And Vendorti is on the whale.
Oh, and we
Yeah.
can...
Now he will... Now he is actually having a decent removal.
Yeah, I mean whale and... Yep. That's really good.
Oh, and this means that
And
this
then also
eclectic
flock at
collection
the end.
isn't doing anything.
Yeah.
This is so huge.
And like rebuilding this board gonna be quite hard, or maybe even impossible.
And this also means
Yeah,
you're
there's
kind of
only
forced
two
to use
porters
the
left.
stun next turn, because otherwise Gwen just levels. And Gwen leveling is actually pretty important.
Here to help? Wait. I guess we have double flock for that.
That was a conch spell as far as I know.
Yeah, definitely. Oh,
How far is the Raven Bloom?
Um,
Probably like 7 or something, right?
It's on 6.
6, yeah, 7 with the Gwen attack.
Nothing to fear.
the Gwen is getting quite annoying.
Oh, we did not. Oh, Gwen being level.
This Everosen Trapper is also... I think it's a downside, yeah, shuffling the 5-5. I think at this point you probably want other cards than top decking a random 1-mana 5-5.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
they
like
just...
Portalopalooza, Sorian, Scholar, that value engines. That's
Oh,
something probably.
that unit is not bad. They're getting the prize fight. Yeah, I mean, prize fight into Pythos now kills the
Is
Gwen.
it the eclectic angle?
Oh, but eclectic for 3, yeah, maybe. Maybe it... But... Yeah, I don't know. I guess we can't really get more than 3, huh? With eclectic, most likely. But yeah, eclectic for 3 just feels bad. Guess when Doughty is just passing until there's actual removal on the Gwen, right?
It
Otherwise, like
looks
he's
like
happy
that.
with this just passing down and he overtakes with Gwen.
this is
Oh, we just
interesting.
play it now. He had, I guess he had to read that there was just no landmark
I
removal
mean, he
picked.
also has enough spells to pop it, right?
Yeah, I think that
could
was the
use
reason.
doors, but I mean, it would be
yeah.
miserable.
Yeah.
Kinda for him. And
Yeah,
not
I think we
getting
just
the
throw out.
glimpse here is pretty bad for Venorti.
Yeah.
Also, that was so smart. By the way, that was so smart from Kaizen not to pick the landmark removal because he just assumed that Vendetta is not playing the landmark anyways before.
And now this is basically a game of finding another Gwyn. Which
I mean, you can also
will
like
do some
draw
stuff.
Farron.
We can also find Farron, we can find the Harrowing. And we will be able to use this Tyborg this turn.
This Tyborg, probably Withering Mist here.
Yeah, but we played this eclectic finally.
Yeah, for sure.
4 units.
Finally got a yeah. Eclectic for 4 is like fine. I feel like 4 is like kind of the threshold where it's okay, right? Like 3 always feels pretty bad, and then 5 or 6 is really good. And 4 is like, I take it, I guess.
Oh, that's fairly interesting. We are not going for Quivering Mist.
Pushing some damage.
We are
here.
going for Veil instead.
Oh,
and
the Farron.
this is kinda what we need to.
Yeah, Farron is actually, because there is exact mana to double decimate next turn. Because we are already at 10. Probably. I mean, yeah, it closes the game even through this one healing.
Yeah.
Kaizen really wishes he had picked double heal now, I bet. I mean, yeah.
And now when Dottie even knows that there's only one healing, I guess. Since he already used the blunder.
Okay. Can we generate anything useful? Nope.
No. This is lethal.
Yeah, that's just double decimate. Trade off.
Exact
Yeah, like
lethal.
Okay.
we have a winner, I guess.
We
Yep.
do.
That wasn't
Maybe
the
there
most
needed to
spectacular
be.
finish with
Yeah.
double decimate.
Yeah. I think there needed to be probably blunder um on the Tyrok earlier. I'm not sure. Going to 8. I mean, but yeah, Verdorti got rewarded for going for the whale instead of mist. Just to push like the 3 extra damage, which was relevant.
Yes. Because if he doesn't kill this turn, it's actually looking way harder for him. I
Yeah,
mean, then
because
he
of the
wouldn't went for it.
eclectic is coming in slowly, and yeah, it's like out of cards.
But yeah, but we have a winner, so congratulations to Vendor T.
Made it short and easy. No bracket resets.
Indeed. Short and easy. We had the minimum possible amount of games today. Not minimum possible amount of games, but minimum possible amount of matches. Like 4 instead of 5. Yes, so I will ask Vendorti if he's down for an interview.
And yeah, we need to mention that this is the second time that Vendor T won the Aphrodite League. So yeah, that he's the first person that actually did it. But it's like only the third edition, so like
Pretty good.
but still like a good achievement, I would say. Do you have like any MVPs between the decks that you've seen today, Teddy? Like, was there any deck that surprised you or like you really liked?
I don't think there was like anything that surprising, honestly. Like when Doughty brought the good decks, like 3 just meta decks, and it turns out good decks are good. Like I don't know. The Zoe Refna deck was really strong. Like 3 people brought it, and it looked pretty good every time. So like that, but that just like confirms what we already know, I think.
Yeah, like I agree with that statement. Like, I would say the player that brought just 3 best decks right now just won.
Okay, Vendorti will be here really soon for the interview.
He's already in the
yes.
channel above.
Oh wait, can I move him? Hey, yes. Wait. Oh. Okay, no.
Yo, congratulations.
Hello.
Wait, I need to make you a bit.
Yeah, hello.
Yes. Hi, hello.
Good job, Vendor T. Second time winning Aphrodite League.
Yeah, I beat Kaizen again. It's eluding him, the APH victory. He's been second 3 times, I think.
Oh no.
Our players are fairly consistent here.
Yes, it's always us 3 in the finals.
That's probably because the format is too fair. We need to make it a bit more unbalanced. So, so you're not winning every time.
Or maybe we should just convince Teddy to participate.
Maybe that. Uh,
That would
That's
be
not.
interesting.
RoboMaster also said he was kind of interested, I think, but doesn't have time, as far as I know. So there's still some competition out there. So maybe we will see one of them in the future taking
Yeah.
your spot.
I saw the clip when you were. Did you see the Tybulk slip up? That was a misclick. That wasn't intended.
The
I'm glad Kaizen didn't take landmark removal because that would have ended badly.
Okay.
Oh,
I
I
mean, yeah, you could have like you had like all three spells, right? But Scorched Earthing on the landmark would be kind of awkward.
yeah, I guess it could have been done, but
Pretty wasted.
that's interesting because we have two theories. One was that you actually counted the spells and you decided to play it because you had enough spells, and the second theory was that you had a read that he didn't pick the landmark removal.
I mean, I suspected that he didn't, but I would have taken one landmark removal and one blunder. He didn't take a landmark removal.
Interestingly, like in hindsight, the best choice would have actually been double heal. That would have like
Yeah.
gotten him out of the decimate finish, but and he had
Yeah.
freeze for the Farron, so
I watched the stream after it was done. He had three sisters, so he could have stopped the Farron and healed twice.
no.
Mhm. Okay, what do you feel about your deck choices? Like, do you like having one of Harrowing in your Gwen any deck?
It's very good. It's an inevitability that the deck needs. I think cutting the blade's edges was one of the best things I've done with the deck. That made the deck so much better. You don't run out of cards as easily.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Like that deck doesn't need as much ping as, for example, the um Rex Tyborg version, right? Because you don't
Yeah.
need blade edges to go face. So yeah, it makes a
Especially
lot.
if you're running Flock for Sentry for Flock.
Yeah, yeah, the version looked pretty good.
Also, if anyone wants to copy my lineup, don't copy my Zoe deck. The version is bad. I run two Sky Splitters and two Troll Chants, and those should be Fangs, not those. I love the combination of Jenna, Neela, and Annie, Gwen in tournaments. You saw me win twice against anti-Gwenny lineups.
Was there any like spot that you liked the most? Like how it played out? Like was there anything interesting, you think?
Mm, the first game versus Kaizen was very interesting. I almost decked out,
Yeah.
and I was before he killed the second Neela, I was thinking about going infinite with how I could set that up, but that I had to lethal him that turn basically.
Yeah.
I used all three mystic shots. I had no burn.
I do have one question because, like, referring to that game that you mentioned when you had like two cards left or like three, but I think that was like two cards when you put a lethal. Were you aware what are the cards that were left? I mean, are you tracking the cards that?
One of them was Jenna, and wait, was she? Uh, I I didn't track it last turn because I could have drawn both of them with the +2 Jenna spell, but those cards weren't going to do anything.
Mhm.
I already had the suit up in hand, so or did the suit up get shuffled back?
You
I
had
I'm not
the
sure.
you drew the suit up in your last turn. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you got it in the last turn when you put the Rita on the board.
Yeah. As I said, I think Jan Anila is extremely underrated right now. I think it's by far the best deck, even with the Revna meta development. It's just too consistent in its game plan. And both games you watched me today, I didn't even get a fast hand or even an extremely good one. It just has so much staying power, you can grind down other decks until you deck out, basically.
Yeah, not running out of cards ever turns out to be pretty good.
But you
Yeah.
run into the issue of running out of deck. We have seen.
Yeah, you just run it out of deck at some point, yeah, I guess. But
I'm also I guess proud that I saw the Nila level on 5. Well, I don't know, was that against Kaizen? I think so.
uh, it
Or was it against Luna?
it was, I think it was against. It was definitely against Zoe, I think, but I'm not sure against. Did Luna bring
Yeah.
Zoe?
I think it was against Kaizen. I'm not.
I'm pretty sure it was against Kaizen because Luna didn't bring Zoe, and I think it was against
True,
the Zoe
yeah.
deck.
Oh yeah, Luna didn't bring that. I'm not too sure about the Zoe Braum Yumi deck. I think I'll spend the entire rotation finding a third deck for Gwen, Annie, and Jan and Nila in the lineup
The
that fits.
the deck is definitely not like doing a very similar thing to those two decks, right? It's
Yeah.
just the third good deck and bring good decks, right? I
Just
would
play
Yeah.
assume.
Pantheon Thanksgiving, it's time.
I honestly thought about it. It was my second or third choice in that lineup,
Deck is
probably.
so fun. Like this is like the find that I'm like most proud of this season. It's so fun. I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah, especially
I also could have brought Ilawi Swain, but that deck is inherently flawed.
I can't with that deck. You kind of don't have a lot of agency. I feel like with that.
Yeah. You just kind of hope to draw your things and hope your Leviathans don't get Equinoxed.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, last question from at least from my side is um how do you feel after seeing like 16 attack dogs attacking you today?
The 16 attack dogs didn't bother me. What bothered me was the 17 attack lifesteal. That was the bad
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Also, Kaizen floated an attack in that game, which I thought was very odd. He he just chose to not delete two of my blockers.
Yeah, Kaizen today decided
Yeah.
to not attack a lot, so he was very patient today. That was
Yeah.
also surprising for us a few times.
I mean, it almost paid out in the Jananila game. He almost decked me out without any major buffs in that deck.
Okay, do you have any questions, or do you have Vendo something to add to say to the viewers?
The matches versus Conji yesterday didn't happen.
Okay. Yeah, I also refrained from even mentioning them. I just pretended nothing happened either.
Yeah.
You brought the same lineup, right? Even?
No. I was playing. You don't remember the Poro King?
Oh yeah, actually. Yeah, no. Okay, yeah, I do remember the Poro King, but I don't want to remember the Poro King. It was a disaster.
I have another question for you, Vendorti, because we haven't talked about this today at all, but you have probably seen like the announcement from Aegis saying that they will do like worlds for lore, probably. What are your thoughts on that? Are you excited?
Of course I'm excited. Uh, it's great for the game. We're seeing a bit of a revival in the scene right now, with Aegis being more active, with you guys, with Lava's Discord being very active. I've seen a lot of major people coming back to the game, seeing what's going on. Maybe Riot will notice.
Opium.
Surely they will.
Yeah, surely they will.
Okay, once again, congratulations. That was a great run. Second win for you, like you already was leading the championship points leaderboard. Now you are even on a stronger position. And yeah, I guess good luck in the next seasons.
Yeah, now the only thing to lead is the win percentage.
Yeah.
Yes, Luna is still leading on that one as far as
Yeah,
I know.
I know. She just does too well in groups.
Okay, so I think that's everything for today. I want to thank everyone here, especially I want to thank the players. I mean, of course, you as well, and Dorothy, for playing, because like this tournament is not happening without anyone playing in it, right? And also thanks for everyone watching, and also thanks for Teddy for casting today. Was I think you gave a good insight into the decks we saw today. And yes, if does someone else want to close out the day, or do we just? I think that's everything, right?
Yeah, I think that's everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
See you guys.
Bye.
Worst of all, for me to live, I gotta kill the part of me that saw, and I needed you more. I hope you know we had everything.
I will make the gods remember this day.
And left these pieces. I want you
All outsiders do not belong in my jungle.
and I want you to lose like I lose when I play. What could
Looks like I'm on a hot streak.
what could have been.
ashes raining down. Try to hold it in, but it keeps bleeding out. This is what you asked for. Heavy is love, heavy is the crown. Heavy is the
hearts. And worst of all, for me to live, I gotta kill the part of me that saw. And I needed you more. I hope you know we had everything.
I will make the gods remember this day!
And left these pieces. I want you
All outsiders do not belong in my jungle!
and I want you to lose like I lose when I play. What could
Looks
have
like
been?
I'm on a hot streak.
What could have been?
This is what you asked for. Heavy is the crown. Fire in the sunrise, ashes raining down. Try to hold it in, but it keeps bleeding out. This is what you asked for. Heavy is love, heavy is the crown.